Sadly not.
Shiloh heard it though.
Hey
did,
there,
okay.
everyone, and hello there, YouTube as well. shilOMG here, joined by ItsJohnnyRose and shilOMG. As we go ahead and get ready to predict the NFL 2024 season to the best of our abilities, we're gonna go through each week of games to show who we picked as winners and losers, as well as let you know who we have as our consensus picks as well. There were 4 people who were doing this. Holly Rumble was also one of the people that was helping out. Was here for the AFC preview. But yeah, we're gonna. If there's a tiebreaker, would have to use a flip of the coin to determine the winner of that game. So yeah. Hey, I hope you're all ready for these amazing expert opinions that'll come your way. We're also going to try to predict the playoffs based off of our consensus picks, as well as pick the major award winners, as well as anything else that comes up that we'd like to try to predict as well. But yeah, there's also been a little bit more news for the NFL. In the meantime, if anyone would like to bring anything up they'd like to talk about, or any news that they found noteworthy,
I personally think it's a bold move when your star receiver is holding out for money. The GM, who, authorizes most, signings and extensions, goes, you gotta play eventually. I think that's a bold move. I don't think it's gonna pay off. Looking at you, John Lynch. This is a bold move.
Oh, you mean Cowboys West?
Yeah. he's like I don't want to pay you.
And hey, another team's wide receiver still holding out after the coach is like, yeah, gonna show up week 1 for sure. Might have spoke too early on that.
I also don't think it helps that CeeDee Lamb did get an extension in the middle of all this.
So it doesn't help the Bengals either.
No, it doesn't. How much is CD getting paid, by the way?
It's $25 per year and then a $38 million signing bonus.
That's not bad. That makes him the second highest paid receiver in the league currently, at least yearly. If I remember correctly. I think he's just under Jefferson.
Hey, it's a lot of money. Hey, good for that deal to get done. Too bad it doesn't sound like anything's getting done with Dak anytime soon, and he sounds like he is done with Jerry Jones. This bullshit.
I mean, yeah. It's a long lineage of Jerry Jones kind of screwing out some of their best players, from staying.
Jerry Jones, after the CD contract, no one does GMing like I do. I'm the best there is. And a couple days later, Dak's like, I don't believe anything this guy says. I learned that pretty early on.
Yeah.
See if I can see. Of course not.
Oh, we also had a trade yesterday as well.
Oh yeah, Ernest Jones.
Move. Oh, no.
Oh, you're talking about okay. You're talking about the Heineke trade.
Yeah, we shipped him out to fucking LA.
Which is, honestly, I think LA wins that. I mean, there's not really much to win there, but LA wins that just because...
No, you guys definitely win that, but we just got rid of him.
It is weird that
they have a competent backup now. They have someone who actually was an okay starter in the NFL at one point.
Yeah.
Compared to the backups they had, which was... the best one they had was Easton Stick, and that's saying a lot.
I suppose they didn't want to get any of the freebies that other teams were going to be getting rid of, especially I know the Browns were trying to get rid of one of their backup quarterbacks in a trade, but a lot of teams didn't bite because they knew one of them was going to be let go. But by the time they had to get rid of one of the quarterbacks, Tyler Huntley, it ended up being that there's no backup position now, so it's just a whole lot of waste for nothing.
Yeah. I also think there's a big move to be made in the coming weeks. I think genuinely, I think there's going to be a trade for. I think they finally just get rid of Ayuk, but I have just a feeling like for some reason early season we're going to see a big trade.
I want to be surprised at this point. Although, by all means, most of this movement's probably going to be like in the second month after the playoff race is already getting started to shaped up, and some teams know if they're actually in contention or not, or think they're in contention.
I would also like to just point out that us signing CD in the middle of this whole thing with IU is our way of getting back at them signing Nick Bosa to a giant contract, because now we're going to have to pay Micah Parsons a decent amount of money.
No.
So, thank you, San Francisco, for that one.
Also, R.I.P. Ben DiNucci. You will be missed.
Don't remind. They got rid of QB1, man.
Him and Tommy DeVito, two New York legends, gone.
Cowboys legend, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by all means, Blake, if Ayuk was going to be moved, he would have been moved. Yeah, he's not going to be a Steeler. Unfortunately, that team is stuck with two quarterbacks who proved why they were essentially free to pick up.
Yeah.
Field still has time.
Yeah. Yeah, Fields at least has energy to him. Pittsburgh has got to enjoy 2 quarters of his play and week 4 when he's the starter for a little bit.
Listen, I very much enjoyed Mike Tomlin this week going, get ready for the Justin Fields special or option special to Raheem Morris. I was like, oh, I hope we take the top off immediately. And by that, I mean, show them why we got a top 10 defense in the league.
Get ready for the backup tight end around.
I very much want to see that play. Genuinely, I don't care if we win or lose this game. I want to see that play again. I want to be on the other side of this play. It's going to be me, and if we're in chat or whatever, I'm just going to be pointing out, there it is! They did it! They did the thing!
They're going to have both Jalen Warren and Najee Harris on the field at the same time, but the actual running play is going to go from some wide receiver you've never heard of.
It's going to be the fake handoff. It's going to be Cordero with the ball that hands it to the tight end.
Let's actually pull up their depth chart real quick just to pull a name here.
Pull a name here. It's not going to be, was it Firemouth, right? Is there?
Oh, well, they have nobody. They've got 5 wide receivers right now.
Yeah, they don't really have anyone. I think anyone can name past George Pickens either. It's not great.
I know. I know all of them actually.
Yeah, you have blah blah blah.
And I guess
Van Jefferson was a Ram. Calvin Austin has been on the team for a little bit. Roman Wilson, I think they just drafted.
Yeah, is he injured?
And Scotty Miller was a Buccaneer last year.
Oh yeah, Scotty Miller, who was one of Tom Brady's favorites when he was there those 2 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Connor Hayward or Darnell Washington end around.
Yeah,
watch out.
Another Falcon leaving in his prime. I'm joking, of course, because he was also here for some reason. Scotty Miller, I mean.
All right, but is there anything else anyone would like to talk about real quick?
No.
Not that I can think of, because a lot of the injuries have kind of gotten out of the way. I'm not saying it's a positive, of course. It's just like we haven't seen any injuries, which is good. And the biggest signing, of course, happened. Yeah, I don't think really anything as of right now. We're gonna be wrapping up, and then like some big thing is gonna happen. It's gonna be really upsetting. But we don't have the foresight to know that ahead of time.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be some major injuries that happen to some of these teams that just derail what we're all projecting. Like I was
It'll happen tomorrow too. It'll happen tomorrow.
I imagine we all went through these. Like, yeah, these are the teams as they are now, and with good health the whole time, which is just not feasible for the reality of it all.
It's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna
happen to the Chargers too. Because
we're gonna get. And I'm not like referencing this in a positive way, of course. We're gonna get one of those random ass Teddy Bridgewater injuries in like practice or whatever, where he almost lost his leg for some reason.
Yeah,
on a non-contact injury, mind you. So like his leg was just like, I'm done, and then just He's fine. He's safe. He just retired, but still, it's like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
That like went into business for itself.
If that's about it, go over real quick for like process for all of this stuff. I will go ahead and say that I made sure to have a document listed out that has like marks for how long a team has been away, like how many weeks in a row they've been away, or like were away before they go to a home game. Mark down how much difference in rest they'd have versus their opponents. Make sure to mark down what's the Thursday game, and a couple of strange cases, Fridays or even Wednesday games. Just differentiate between time slots, try to go ahead and also factor in like a few other things, look into the international games, how long the team has been there. Are they going to go ahead and then immediately go to an away game after that, because they'll be pretty tired out after that. I put in a lot of thought to things I don't really have the best knowledge and understanding about, and hope I got this right.
It's entirely valid, honestly. Because again, we don't know. We're not professional analysts, and if so, we'd be making money off of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a person a team's gonna be tapping to enter their like data analytics section.
Yeah, but hypothetically, Shiloh over under week 1. I'm just saying. I got a sleeper app here if I want to gamble. Over under.
Wow.
I will say, as a reminder, Shiloh was the best at predicting games last season. So let's see if they can do it this year as well.
I say that because it's because they were gay. Struggled getting that out. I don't know why. It wasn't a bit. I'm also openly bisexual, so it's not like I'm saying something that's gonna get me canceled. So Nate's saying it though. On the other hand, it would be different. It would be very different.
Yeah, I would deserve to be attacked over it.
Nate wins this year. It's because he's straight. You heard it here first, right here. I said it. Shiloh can back me up, right, Shiloh?
What am I backing up on? Something about being straight?
If Nate wins this year, it's because he's straight.
That's just homophobic then.
Yeah, it's just homophobic then, Nate.
I can't win regardless, huh? All right. Yeah. All right, buds. Let's go ahead and go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a quick start. Not necessarily going like week by week, but let's go ahead and get an idea of how some of this is going to go. Starting off looking at the... I want to go with our overall records before we go week by week. What do you? Forgot to put this in the group chat earlier.
We can do overall records.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, let me...
Do you want to just start with AFC then? Since I think it would be kicking off.
There
north.
you are. Okay, it took a second for the window capture to pop up. But yeah, we'll go ahead and start with the AFC. I had this marked for North, East, South, and West for each one. But yeah, if that is
can't
not
believe we had
zoomed in
them
well
still.
at all there. Let me help you all out, everyone watching.
What is that, wife?
I was looking at who we have as the consensus 1 seed, and I'm shocked.
Yeah. But yeah, and our...
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sorry that this is bright mode as well. Google Drive is weird. I wish they had an actual dark mode. Instead of just...
I use the illegal one. I mean, the legal one.
But yeah,
Definitely
for the Bengals, Holly had them go 9-8. Johnny had them go 14-3 and win the conference and division. I had them go 12-5 and win the conference and division. Oh no, after win the conference division, Johnny had them just win the division. Shadow had them go 13-4, make it to the playoffs, but not win the division.
Is that with the Bengals?
Yeah.
I had them go 11-6.
You did?
It says 13-4.
I had the Ravens at 13-4.
Oh, you had them at 11-6. Wow. Okay, never mind. I guess I just copied the wrong thing. Looked the wrong number. Okay, I was wondering. But yeah,
I
consensus.
I have mine and the consensus ones up. So.
Everything's fraudulent. But I had to find the app first.
But yeah, consensus pick. We had them go 11-6, make the playoffs. The Browns, Holly had them go 6-11. Johnny opposite 11-6. Shiloh and I had them go 10-7. Only I had them go to the playoffs. And the consensus had them go 12-5 and win the division.
Yeah.
I know it's
Okay.
weird. It's just because we happen to agree more, I guess.
Boy, I will say now that this has to be updated, the AFC North is now fraudulent. But you know what's not fraudulent? Sleeper.
But this is not advertised by Sleeper.
I can't go any further without you guys paying me.
Oh, Plague, we already talked about this, by the way, in our AFC preview. We, for the most part, believe, like, this is going to be a rebound here for the Bengals with one of the easiest schedules in the league, especially looking at it out of the division as well. But yeah, Ravens, Audie had them go 11-6 and win the division. Johnny had them go 12-5, make the playoffs. I had them go 10-7. I would switch the Browns and the Ravens for who makes it to the playoffs. If I could, I just had a weird tiebreaker situation on my end. But yeah, and Shiloh had them win the division and conference at 13-4. Consensus had them go 11-6 and make the playoffs. For the Steelers, Steeler fan Holly was the only one who was positive about them.
Ain't happening, Chief.
I had them to go 11-6 and make the playoffs. Johnny had them go 3-14. I had them go 8-9, and Shadow had them go 9-8. Consensus, we went 8-9 on. Yeah, we think this is
just good enough for the winning record.
Yeah, so we all think this is the worst team in the division, except for one of us, pretty much.
Ain't happening, Chief.
Drinking the copium, but I respect it.
Yeah. You got to stand up for your team. I understand.
Well, one of us does.
Did you say copium or
Shiloh, you're not the
copium?
one who's the lowest on your team. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was high on your team for some reason.
To be fair, I was lower on my team, but the only reason I'm as high as I am on my team is because the other two teams in my division suck.
All right, moving on to the AFC East. Holly, Johnny, and I all had the Bills go 12-5 and make the playoffs. Holly had them win the division as well. Shiloh, no, I had them win the division as well. Okay, and consensus had them go 12-5, win the division. Shiloh had them go 9-8. Dolphins, Holly had them go 8-9. Johnny had them go 14-3 and win the division and conference. I had them go 9-8. Shiloh had them go 12-5 and win the division. Consensus had them 10-7 and out of the playoffs.
That's that copium in me. That's that dog in me that doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
With 12-5, I still had them losing like 5 of their last 6 games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not great because it's a lot of outdoor games in winter.
It's one of those things where I think I have them so high because I want them to learn from that last year. I don't think they will, but in my mind,
I still have them losing the first round of the playoffs.
No, yeah. But I'm just saying, at that point, I'm just like, I feel like they have to win at least 1 or 2 of these. Is the biggest thing. That's why I have them at 14.
They'll learn in the regular season, and then they'll not learn when it comes to when it matters.
I think I had them have an amazing first half of the season, and in the second half it falls apart.
As long as they also don't replicate from 2 years ago, I think they'll also be fine.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, moving on. The Jets, Holly had them go 5-12. Johnny had them go 11-6, make the playoffs. I had them go 10-7, make the playoffs. Shiloh had them go 9-8, and consensus was 12-5 and make the playoffs. This is one of the harder teams to predict. Any of us could be right. It's interesting that for the most part we were pretty bunched up there, though. And on the Patriots side, man, we all don't like this team.
Ain't happening, Chief.
3 of us have
Ain't
them go,
happening.
3 of us have them go 3-14. Johnny has them go 1-16, and consensus has them go without a win.
It really just comes down to if they put Drake May in, and if he can pull them to wins at any point.
Yeah, because they're starting off the year with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
Brissett.
that offensive line.
I thought he was hurt.
Nope,
Brissett's playing. He's starting.
They
he's playing?
Starter,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got hurt, but it was
a minor injury.
Yeah, it was a minor injury. Like he could have still played that game. He was just taken out as a precaution.
I'm gonna be honest with you. With that line, the way it held up, and I'm taking a shot like that, I'm faking an injury.
This is one of the worst lines, offensive lines in the league. It might end up being the worst, and they have to face the toughest schedule.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, I'm down. I'm done. It's shoulder.
This really
thing.
is just karma for those Super Bowls. Like, what did they do to deserve this hard of a schedule at that bad of a record last year?
That thing where God works mysterious ways. I'm very happy with this mysterious way recently.
It's not biased, Pat. It's just not a good team.
It's a little biased.
Yeah. But yeah, let's move to the AFC South now, where none of us know what to make of the Colts. Holly has them go 10-7 to make the playoffs. Johnny has them go 4-13. I have them go 8-9. Shallow has them go 7-10, and Consensus had them go 6-11. This is all about if Anthony Richardson can prove that he can start more than 2 games, finish more than 4 games, and throw the football.
Because I will say, I'm okay with being wrong here, but they don't have Gardner Minshew as a backup anymore, and I'm banking on Anthony Richardson getting hurt, but I don't want him to get hurt.
I don't believe in Joe Flacco at 41 years
Yeah,
old.
they do have comeback player of the year.
Where did he come back from? The couch? I'm referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's a joke. He made that joke.
Yeah.
He got the awards like, I don't deserve this.
Yeah, I was not signed and then was signed. I didn't get hurt or have a career-ending injury or a possible career-ending injury. I just wasn't signed by it.
To be fair, it's not like Hamlin deserved it either. He didn't do anything at all.
He had like one tackle all year or whatever.
If that, yeah. Like it's great that he didn't die, but he didn't do anything when he got back either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, again, this is not trying to be mean. He wasn't doing anything before it as well.
Yeah.
He was never an impact player, and this is again not trying to be mean to Hamlin. It's just like
it was a freak accident. It's good that he was okay, but he didn't do anything before. He didn't do anything after.
Yeah,
it's just kind of he was a role player.
Yeah,
comeback player of the year is just a weird award. We're gonna have to figure that out later in the stream too. But yeah, these next 2 teams were actually pretty much all about the same. About Holly had the Jaguars go 9-8. Johnny had them go 11-6, make the playoffs. I had them go 10-7, make the playoffs. Shiloh had them go 10-7. Consensus had them go 10-7. Texans, Holly had them go. Holly and Johnny had them go 13-4. Johnny had them win the division. Holly had them win the conference. Shiloh had them go 12-5 and win the division. And Consensus had them go 14-3 and win the division and conference. We are all aboard the CJ Stroud train. And this team looks fucking dominant according to everyone who's looked at the training camp.
Unless that sophomore slump hits like a motherfucker, I think they'll be fine. That's the only input I actually have for this.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know is like the next team we got. It's how we all view them.
Okay, so I will say this. I just don't believe in fucking Will Levis is the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, Will Levis is my biggest hang-up. But if he actually does improve, this is probably a playoff team.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If he could turn that corner, fine. I'm okay with being wrong. But from what I saw last year and the fact that that offense, again, under him couldn't get going, it's hard to...
If they make the playoffs, I'm saying it right now, I will try it. I'm not going to say the words out. I'm not going to say the words out loud, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. You should say it aloud.
No, I will not.
The thing before the stream, we kind of went over this as well, and we don't really find, Johnny and I at least actually don't really find this too weird because in our AFC preview, we talked about how this is actually a surprisingly good roster.
It's a really good roster, but it has to be led by the right guy is the biggest thing. Like quarterbacks win games. Defense wins championships, but quarterbacks
What
win.
do we all have them at? 'Cause I don't think we went over that.
Shit.
For those who are just listening, Holly and I have the Titans go 5-12. Johnny has them go 3-14. Shiloh has them go 10-7 and get to playoffs. Consensus was at 6-11. And
I really am nice on them, Jesus.
Yeah. I'm saying this right now. Out of all of the teams that we have been done, out of all the teams in the league, this is the one I'm worried about having the Rams moment of last year, where I went in way too low on them, and they turn out to actually not just succeed expectations, but actually look good and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, again, always worth being wrong if they're going to succeed and be good. Will Levis just might turn the corner.
All right, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the AFC West now, with the Broncos, who we're all very close on as well. Actually, I
Ain't
think
happening,
for the most
son.
part, we're pretty close on these teams. But yeah, Broncos, Holly has them go 6-11, Johnny 4-13. I have them go 5-12. Jalo also has them go 6-11. Consensus was at 4-13, which, yeah, I don't buy some people being like, wait, maybe Bo Nix can turn into Drew Brees right off the bat.
Yeah, turn into Drew Brees and tear your unilateral fucking collarbone or whatever, and then not get signed by Miami because you have issues with him, and he goes on to have a Hall of Fame career in New Orleans. I'm made for both sides of college football and NFL, says the guy who coached Alabama for decades. That's what he said. He said Drew Brees wasn't worth it. Shiloh, anything to add?
No.
All right.
Okay.
On the Chargers,
Holly
Holly had them go 9-8. Johnny and I had them go 10-7. I had them go to the playoffs. Shiloh has them go 11-6 to make the playoffs. Consensus was at 9-8, and I'll have to say, yeah, this is Sarbaugh coming in. You got the 49ers into the playoffs right off the bat.
I don't
Might be able to do the same for the Chargers.
I don't feel comfortable at my 10-7. I'll be honest. If I could flip it, I would flip it and reverse it.
I will say there was also a weird thing my first draft of this, where I had the Chargers go 5 wins in a row, a shit ton of losses in a row, and then close out 5 wins in a row. And it was a thing of me being like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, they're a weird team.
Yeah.
I think I decided on my fantasy football name now.
Are the Harboners?
No. I'm going to do Bo Tricks on it.
Jesus.
Hell yeah. Hey, no surprise that we all believe in the Chiefs, by the way, and I think they're going to win the division.
What? No way.
Holly has them go 11-6. Johnny and I have them go 12-5. Shadow has them go 13-4. Consensus had them go 13-4. It's going to be at least 12 wins for this team. It's Mahomes and Reed.
Again, it's if Mahomes gets injured, it's different. But until that point, and I'm not rooting for it to happen, it's going to be the Chiefs. It's the biggest thing. Even at that point, they'll probably go out and make some ridiculous trade and be perfectly fine.
Or somehow be just fine. Anyways, just coast off of good defense and okay enough offense.
Yeah. Honestly.
Well, they've got more receivers this year.
Yeah. The question is which one of them actually hit.
I'm hoping for Worthy.
Can I just say before we do this next one, I don't like this next team. I think they should have stayed where they came from.
Yeah.
Los Angeles?
Yeah. But yeah, we have the Raiders up next. Holly has them go 10-7 in the playoffs. Johnny has them go 1-16. I have them go 7-10, and Shala has them go 6-11 with a consensus of 5-12. Yeah. Hey, I said this in the preview, AFC preview. I'd like this team if they had a quarterback.
You don't believe in Minshew Mania?
It's gonna be a fun 3 quarters until you have to deal with that other quarter.
I don't believe in men with handlebar mustaches anymore, so no.
To be fair, I never believed in that one. So
No, I know. I'm just making a reference
But
to
to be
the
fair,
other guy.
it's the Nick Foles effect, and also Fitzpatrick, I guess, where as a starter, no, as a backup, Minshew Mania, fantastic.
It's that 1 or 2 games or 3 games he needs to play, and then it's like whatever after that. Like we went 2-1 and barely won both games, but he threw 3 interceptions, but he threw 4 touchdowns.
It looked great doing it.
Yeah.
All I care about.
Listen,
the win.
We always need a Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of player in the league.
No one will ever beat Ryan Fitzpatrick, though.
No, that man went everywhere. It's like he's like a better Josh McCown.
He was also like a fucking character. Just like
There goes
his
Nate.
fucking beard, the fucking chains, the shirts.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't be Fitzpatrick if you wanted to.
Nate stepped away, or as I can make this joke because I just noticed the shirt. Nate went on a holiday.
Green Bay. But yeah, moving on to the NFC now. In the North, for the Bears, Holly has them go 10-7. Johnny and I have them go 7-10. Shiloh has them go 5-12. Consensus was 6-11. I think this will be a fun enough team. It's just
I would
a rookie
very much-
quarterback.
I would like to see, honest to God, Holly's prediction pan out. I just don't
I
see
wouldn't.
it though. This is the biggest thing.
I can't stand Bears fans. I would not like to see that.
Fair.
Listen, I can believe in the future of Caleb Williams, but we've already just had a rookie quarterback go into the playoffs and win a playoff game. The chances of a rookie quarterback leading a team to the playoffs 2 years in a row, very unlikely.
I mean, yeah.
And it's supposed to be a very rare thing to happen at all.
Rawr. This next team, though, I'm like rawr on. You know.
Yeah, we like the Lions. Well, we also like the Packers. But yeah, with the Lions, Holly has them go 11-6, make the playoffs. Johnny has them go 14-3 and win the division and conference. I have them go 12-5 and win the division. Shiloh has them go 13-4 and win the division. Consensus had them go 16-1 and win the
And
division and
conference, by
conference. We really agreed on them for the most part.
Yeah, I originally had them 16-1 before I had to bump them down to 13-4.
It's
I
a
mean, they
fully
still won
put
the conference either way, but
yeah, it's a fully put together team. One of the best put together teams in the NFL.
and they really they had issues and this offseason they went after it.
Yeah,
Like, all of them.
They knew exactly what their weaknesses were and went after the right players for them.
Man, that would be really fucking nice if my team could do that.
What money do you have to make these fixes? $7?
I don't care. It'd be nice if we even attempted to, find people off the street to fill those positions or draft them.
I don't think after previous comments from Jerry Jones, people would want to do that.
Yeah.
It's the Cowboys. People would.
A team that we're almost all in agreement about is the Packers, where three of us had them go 11-6 and at least make the playoffs. Holly also had them win the division. Johnny has them go 12-5. You would have had them getting to the playoffs with that record. I don't know why I didn't mark it down, but yeah, consensus was.
I was about to say, it's like, how good did I make the NFC 12-5? Is it making the playoffs?
But yeah, consensus was 10-7 to make the playoffs. I'm excited for Jordan Love year 6, I guess, but year 2 as a starter.
That's incredible that we all had 11 or more wins, and the consensus is down at 10.
Yeah, we just disagreed on when those wins happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, I know this doesn't affect anyone, but there was a beautiful moment in one of the drafts I did over the weekend where just one of my friends was like, "Don't you fucking take the pick that I want." And I am the pick before him, and I take Jordan Love, and he flips his shit, and it was just the most beautiful thing. It was great. Oh man, replay that in my head. Anyway,
Any hoozles.
we also all pretty much agree this is a lost year for the Vikings, though. Holly has them go 5-12. Johnny has them go 2-15. I have them go 6-11. And Shell has them go 3-14. A consensus of 1-16. Obviously, the consensus feels like it's way lower than it'll actually be, but sorry, Justin Jefferson. Yeah, at least you're making money.
It's one of those things where, I feel like at a certain point, you are just going to start losing games on purpose. If the obvious, this of all.
If McCarthy was still, healthy, maybe this is, closer to 500. But he went down, and now Sam Darnold is your quarterback. So
yeah, and you could definitely very much get a really good player in the draft next year. So why win here when you're sitting on McCarthy for next year, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means, I don't think they're going to tank or anything. I feel like they're still gonna try to compete, make sure their players are motivated and ready for year 2 because they want to push to have like you have a rookie quarterback. Make sure you make the most of that deal. Get players
for
in
sure.
the building.
But at the same time, it's going to be one of those things where they might just not win games.
Yeah.
And I think they have
And
to
once they get to a
understand
certain point,
it's like, why risk your body at that point as
Oh,
well?
yeah. Okay, over in the East, this is a weird one. The person who should defend this is not available right now. But the Commanders, Holly has them go 9-8 and make the playoffs. Johnny has them go 2-15. I have them go 5-12. Shallow has them go 4-13, and consensus was 4-13. I don't know Holly's love for this. We haven't got an explanation from them about it, and I know like there's a couple other people like Tom Grossi is high on them and thinks they can make the playoffs too. I believe. I don't see it.
Who's Tom Grossi? That's a genuine question. I don't know who Tom Grossi is.
YouTuber. He does a lot of like NFL reaction videos.
Grossi?
No, not Aubrey DeGrossi.
It's Tom Grossi though, not Grossi.
Meet the Grams.
Oh, Grossi, not Grossi. Sorry.
Meet the Grams.
But hey, it should be a good
wah.
enough year. Check out Commanders fans. Remember to watch LSU games as well as I forget who the other top Texas games as well, because that's where you're gonna find your future left tackle most likely.
Also, watch LSU games from last year to realize why your quarterback is not healthy anymore.
So imagine starting a rookie quarterback. Couldn't be me.
I'll get to your team soon enough. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys. I was definitely the lowest on this team, but technically not by much, just enough.
Why the fuck was I the highest on this team outside of Shiloh?
Holly had them go 10-7 to make the playoffs. Johnny and Shiloh had them go 11-6 to make the playoffs. I had them go 8-9. Consensus had them go 11-6 to make the playoffs. I just found this team as one of the easier ones to be like not able to repeat the playoff trip.
I mean, I feel like we'll still make the playoffs just because the NFC is that weak. Because you got like the top 2 teams in the North, and everyone else besides the division winners are not really that good. I mean, it's kind of like getting in by default.
Oh, true. It was not an easy thing, despite what I said, to get them out, because it was like the thing of like, they probably will actually be on the higher side of the 500, but.
Also, I had them originally, again, like I said before that we started streaming, I had them at 10-7, but they got bumped up to 11-6 purely because I moved someone else's game around differently. Just trying to even like reconcile to make them look a little better.
I get it. You just want to be closer to me. It's fine. I get it.
So I originally had them at 10-7.
Next team up though, we're all high on, partly because they have a pretty easy schedule themselves comparatively. That's actually easy. It's now Holly and I have them win the division and conference. Holly has them go 12-5. I have them go 14-3. Johnny and Shiloh had them just win the division. Johnny had them go 13-4. Shiloh had them go 12-5. Consensus had them go 13-4 and win the division.
I just think this team is going to have moments where they're going to show what they did last year, but actually learn from it instead of continue to nosedive.
But with all hope considered, hopefully they just nosedive again. It'd be great, funny.
Yeah.
Why do you
I
hate
love
Mark so much? Mark's out there trying to get his masters and baiting.
Yeah, but he likes the Phillies and the Eagles, so that's his fault.
All right. This last team in the division we're pretty close about. For the Giants, Holly and Johnny both have them go 5-12. I have them go 4-13, and Shiloh has them go 6-11. Consensus had them go 4-13. They gave too much money to Danny Dimes. I think that's the big thing we could go down on that.
I will say this man's gonna have a great life after football.
Oh, true.
And this may be his last year.
Yeah. He has the third highest cap hit on a team for a quarterback this season.
Although he might be a good backup after this year. We'll see.
Or a commentator. Or a college commentator. Or he just disappears off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What? He doesn't die. Okay, he just doesn't do football anymore. He goes to live in Wyoming or something. I don't know.
All right.
Why Wyoming?
Why not?
There again.
Yeah, just get a cattle farm.
Alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, NFC South. First up is the Buccaneers, who Johnny and Holly both have go 8-9. I have them go 5-12. Shiloh has them go 3-14. Consensus had them go 6-11.
I am as low as I was last year on them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Listen, last year, despite them winning, you still would have been right to have felt like they should have been a losing team.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
All right.
I don't. This team should not be winning games. I don't know why they did.
Next up is our unanimous pick to win the division for the Falcons. Holly has them go 9-8. Johnny has them go 12-5. I have them go 10-7. Shiloh has them go 11-6. Consensus had them go 11-6. Come on now. One of the teams is competing.
It's also, I will say, this is not because, again, a fan. I just also think this is the most well put together team in the division, at least.
Yeah.
And your schedule is also just
It's just
after those
easy.
first few weeks is pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
I can't wait for us to go 0-2 or whatever and be like, no team has ever made the playoffs to going 0-2, and then
I
the
mean,
actual season starts or whatever.
Cowboys literally won a Super Bowl after doing that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know that statistics and it's like, how many teams have made the playoffs after going 0-2? And I'm just like, yeah, but we look at the teams we faced or whatever. Or at least 1-3 or 1-2 at least. Still.
We'll see how that looks when we look through weeks 1 through 3, because I'm pretty sure none of us had them start 0-3 at least.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's like there's no way they're gonna start 0-3, but they'll probably 1-2, or maybe 2-1, but it all depends.
I don't remember what I had them.
But
I
yeah.
Them winning like the Chiefs at least, for sure.
Up next is last year's worst team, the Carolina Panthers. Holly has them go 5-12. Johnny has them go 3-14. I have them go 4-13. Shell has them go 2-15. Consensus has them go 1-16. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yahtzee. No, straight flush. Wait, Nate's here. Gay flush.
Not much to talk about. This is a team that did not improve over the offseason, is all we can say.
I mean, their one improvement was getting rid of Brian Burns. That's not an improvement at all.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able
rid
to
of
pay
one of your good players.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to pay this man in the future. Get him out of here.
Oh boy, but yeah. Next up, the Saints. Holly has them go 3-14. Johnny has them go 8-9. Shallow has them go 5-12. I have them go 6-11, and Consensus has them go 7-10.
I hate that team so much.
I don't know what to say about this team that we can cover next week to justify this.
I hate that I'm so high on them.
Go back to the Panthers like 2 seconds. Just like,
Yeah.
I had them go 2-15 purely because I had to give them a couple wins. I didn't want to. If I could have given them 0-17, I would have.
I will say though, in terms of mascot though, 17-0. I love me some Sir Purr.
Hell yeah. Gotta love that pussy.
Hell yeah.
Why would you say that? Why?
All right, but last division to cover before we go through the week by week and playoffs.
Yeah.
We have the 49ers. Holly's the only one who doesn't say they will win the division, having to go 10-7 and out of the playoffs.
What?
Johnny has them go 12-5. I have them go 11-6. Jallo has them go 13-4. Consensus has them go 12-5 and win the division.
Yeah, as they will.
Yeah. If this team's fully healthy, they're gonna win. They're gonna win playoff game or games.
You can't count them out until something actively happens.
Heck, even when they do get ravaged by injury, Shanahan can still get them into playoffs.
And they always are ravaged by injuries. There's not a year where they aren't usually.
Yeah, last year was their healthiest year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just lost again. Elijah Mitchell out for the entire year.
Oh, Plague, I would not discount Brock Purdy. He was actually really fucking good last year.
Again, prove until they prove us wrong or right. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, and
It's-
also Plague
like
Miner's
I've said
defense was
before
not
on-
good last year. It was actually middle of the line.
Like I've said before, like in multiple areas of Discord, they are just the Cowboys with a couple extra games.
Why would you say that?
Because it's true.
Why would you compare poverty franchise to literal gold? How dare you?
Because it's true.
Uh-huh. Yeehaw to you too, Shiloh. Yeehaw.
Every year, it's a "this is our year" bullshit from them, and they still lose every single time.
All right. Next up,
Yeehaw.
are the Cardinals, where it's almost the same. Holly and Johnny both have them go 8 and 9. I have them go 9 and 8 in the playoffs. Shallow has them go 5 and 12. Consensus has them go 8 and 9. Honestly, hovering around 500 probably will be where they end up. It's just that question of, is it the better end or the worse end?
Very happy with some of these teams I'm lining up consensus-wise. So if I'm a dummy, consensus is also a dummy.
Yeah.
Wait, that also means I'm a double dummy because I'm part of the consensus.
I don't. This team is not. I mean, they'll play better than how they should be, but then they're not going to win games.
Don't worry, we'll see a star receiver and rookie first round pick. I can't say his name because he hasn't signed a PA thing yet, but he's a good receiver.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I don't say that. We'll have to pay him.
Okay.
We'll have to go with former Ohio State wide receiver picked in the first round.
There's also like the very young, promising tight end Trey McBride.
I like Trey McBride.
That if the quarterback can throw over the offensive line,
Yeah.
well,
You're 6'3". You're not allowed to make these jokes. Leave the short
It's
things
like-
alone.
All right. Next up are the Rams. Holly has them go 10 and 7 and win the division. Johnny has them go 11-6. Did I forget to put down going in the playoffs, or did you?
There's no way they're not going to the playoffs 11-6.
Yeah. Man, I just forgot to put that down on yours for a couple. But
That's
yeah,
fine.
I have them go 9 and 8 and make the playoffs. Shallow has them go 8 and 9. Consensus had them go 11-6 and make the playoffs.
I originally
I'm not
had
being
them
down on
go,
this team 2 years in a row.
I originally had them go 9 and 8 and make the playoffs, but I literally switched it for
The Seahawks.
the Seahawks purely just to have like a different team kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair.
That's literally the only reason I switched it.
So you're not going to get Sam Howell's attention by putting his team in the playoffs. I'm just saying.
I might. You don't know that. Shut up.
All right, and speaking of which, for the last team to talk about for overall records, Holly has the Seahawks. Oh, Holly and Johnny both have the Seahawks go 8 and 9. I have them go 7 and 10. Shiloh has them go 9 and 8, and in the playoffs, and Consensus had them go 8 and 9. Hey, again, like the Cardinals, you know what? This probably sounds right. In fact, it could be on the 9 win and in the playoffs section instead, for all we know.
Holly, I don't get it. The best team in this division being 10 and 7. What? Holly, come on. This division is better than that. One team, anyway.
Stop being mean. Leave him alone.
I just don't get Holly's decisions.
You notice how when I attack someone, I don't attack their height, by the way?
No, I just did that with Kyler. That's
No, I know.
It's just funny.
How about that? How about this here, Shiloh? Stop
I
being so
also
tall.
drafted Kyler. Thank you very much.
Stop being 6'3".
I would like to. Thank you. I don't like being this tall.
All right, let me fix the screen up because OBS apparently decided to change this up on its own at some point.
It's fine. I'll just keep talking to Shiloh while we do this.
All right, there we go.
What's it like being able to see the top of shelves?
It's nice.
All right,
Just
let's-
like you. Oh.
Oh god.
What the fuck, dude? On stream?
What? Are you gonna call me bro again?
I might, bro.
Oh. Hurts my
All
heart.
right. But yeah, let's go over each of these week by week now. I'm gonna bring up a timer to start off with.
Real quick, I did check, and I did in fact have the Falcons going 0-3 to start the season.
Oh, okay.
I hope you fall.
Oh, hey! Breaking news.
I still have you
49ers give Brandon Ayuk $120 million deal.
Oh,
You
there we
fucking called
go.
Fucking called it.
Oh.
We knew something was gonna happen.
Hey, I think you're showing up for practice tomorrow. But yeah, let's go ahead and start with 5 minutes on the clock as we go over each week. Gonna go ahead and make notes who picked who to win for these games. You should be able to see the screen as well, everyone, for who wins each of these. But for the opening game, we ended up having a consensus pick to have the Chiefs win. Lone vote away was the Ravens by Shiloh. The Packers game on Friday in Brazil. Eagles win, with Holly being the one different, saying Packers instead. For the Sunday games, we have Saints winning, Holly being different. Giants was a tiebreaker, had to be a coin flip because Holly and Shiloh had the Giants winning. Johnny and I had the Vikings win instead. The Bengals over the Patriots, Shiloh the only voice difference. Falcons was another tiebreaker scenario where Johnny and I said that the Falcons would win, whereas Shiloh and Holly said that the Steelers would win. But we ended up having a tiebreaker go to the Falcons. Texans over Colts, with Shiloh going for the Colts. Bills and Cardinals, another tiebreaker round where Johnny and I said Bills, who won the Titans and Bears, another tiebreaker where Shiloh and I picked the tiebreaker winner, the Titans. Dolphins was a unanimous pick over the Jaguars. Another unanimous pick were the Seahawks over the Broncos, Chargers over Raiders, Cowboys over Browns, Buccaneers over Commanders. Lions-Rams had to be a tiebreaker for Lions to win. And 49ers over the Jets on Monday Night Football. I was the lone vote saying that the Jets would win, which was just honestly a thing of like, it's week one, something weird's going to happen.
I would like to point out that I did not pick the Cowboys to win week one.
To the
yeah.
Steelers?
Yeah. Shiloh was the only one who said that the Cowboys would lose to the Browns.
It was more just like, I think you guys are still got a decent bit new to kind of mesh together. You got a new coach, new quarterback. Yeah, you still got some new pieces. It'll take a little bit to gel in.
You're gonna make me say
and the Steelers have a really good defense. So I think, it'll take a little bit to get that working, and the Steelers will be able to take advantage of that.
Nate, can I say something I'm going to regret later?
What?
I hope you drop the next eating utensil you go to use.
Okay. There.
Listen, I first thought for the Steelers-Falcons game, I did have the Steelers win as well. And then I watched Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the preseason and decided to switch things up. I don't know if it'll be a high-scoring game. I don't think it'll be a good game to watch, but it's probably going to be the Falcons winning.
I literally had it purely just for the defense and the fact that the Falcons are still got a bunch of new things coming in. So it'll...
POV, me. Heartbroken.
I still have you guys winning the division. I don't know what you want from me.
Oh, winning against the Steelers, obviously. Okay, Nate, week 2.
It's week 1, all right? You guys bounce back.
Nate, can I do week 2?
Oh, yeah, sure. You can go ahead and talk about week 2.
Okay. We go into Thursday Night Football where Holly and me see the Bills winning, of course, and the Dolphins is Nate and Shiloh. We got a coin flip on that one, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a coin flip on that. We have the Dolphins, of course, winning. We go into Sunday night. We got the 49ers. Everyone thinks the 49ers are going to win that game, of course. Seahawks was Holly, myself, and Nate, which are picking the Patriots. We have the Commanders somehow picking up a win, and I'm now realizing, as Holly and Shiloh go with that, and me and Nate go with the Giants. Chargers, of course, beat the Panthers wholeheartedly. We all agree on that. Same thing with the Cowboys against the Saints. We head into the Colts versus Packers. Holly, for some reason, has a Colts win that game, while everyone else, of course, has the Packers picking up the win. 50-50 coin toss here is Holly and Nate. I think the Browns are going to beat the Jaguars. Coin flip, of course, goes the Browns. We head down to Tennessee, where Shiloh thinks the Titans are going to beat the Jets, but everyone else believes the Jets are going to win this game. We go down to Detroit, where everyone thinks the Lions are going to win. We then head to Baltimore, where everyone thinks the Ravens are going to win because they're facing the Raiders. Rams versus Cardinals. Nate thinks the Cardinals are going to win, while myself, Holly, and Shiloh think they're going to pick up the win there. We head into a very pivotal game. We head to Burrowhead, where myself and Shiloh think the Bengals are going to win, but on a coin flip, Holly, Nate, and the coin itself thinks the Chiefs are going to win. We then, I forgot about this game is so early. The Steelers, myself, Nate, and Holly think the Steelers are going to beat the Broncos because Shiloh thinks they're going to win, but that's a toughie. That's a genuine toughie. Yeah. We then head down to the Lone Star State, where everyone thinks the Texans are going to beat the Bears. And on Monday Night Football, everyone here thinks the Eagles are going to beat the Falcons. I can't even. We got lucky last year beating them. We're not going to get lucky again.
Yeah. I just want to go ahead and say with the Rams Cardinals thing, that is just because of home field.
Oh, yeah. No. You're entirely valid for that. I'm not going to take away from you from that.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Chiefs are used to winning on coin flips, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I also went with the Chiefs winning that because it's early in the season when Burrow and the gang are still warming up, and the Chiefs have like 3 days extra rest. It's only the second week, so it doesn't matter too much, really. But yeah, just think of like, yeah, Burrow having to go into Arrowhead.
If anyone's going to win at Arrowhead, it's going to be Joe Burrow.
I'm excited for that game regardless. So that should be a fun one.
You got the Ravens and then the Bengals in the first 2 weeks against the Chiefs. Love that.
Honestly, I also do like the Sunday night game of Bears at Texans because the whole thing of like #1 overall draft pick against the hottest quarterback in the league right now.
Who
number 2 from last year.
Yeah. Technically have been the #1 overall quarterback, but it did happen. But luckily enough, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Hey,
lucky for you,
there's a timeline where Stroud is being destroyed in Carolina while Bryce Young is not able to help out an otherwise good Texans.
I still think Stroud would have been doing all right in Carolina.
I think he would have been okay. I think both would have been okay, but I don't think you see the way we're seeing Stroud now is the biggest thing.
Stroud would definitely have the Panthers looking better than they are now, for sure.
Oh, yeah, but again, like, I definitely don't think we'd see the Texans perform the way the Texans are performing.
That's partially because they also had, like, fucking Will Anderson on the other side of the ball with that top pick as well.
Right. Turned out looking like he's actually might be worth the giant trade up they made to get him, too.
Yeah. All right, on to week 3. Shiloh, do you want to take this one?
I will take it. Let me get a drink of water for my throat.
Hey,
yo.
Sadly, no.
Oh.
Man, there's a lot of consensus, like unanimous picks.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh my god.
Week 3, I think, has the most consensus or unanimous decisions.
Thursday Night Football is a thriller. We got the Jets unanimously beating the Patriots in New Jersey. We head down to Sunday night, Sunday morning probably, down to Cleveland, beating the Giants. Again, fully consensus. Another fully consensus, Eagles coming into New Orleans and taking that one. We head down to Minnesota, or up to Minnesota. We got Johnny, Nate, and myself picking the Texans, with Holly sticking with the home team. Down in Tampa, we've got same 3, Johnny, Nate, and myself picking the Bucks over the Broncos. Holly taking the Broncos. In Tennessee, another consensus pick with all of us taking the Packers over the Titans. In Indy, for the next one. It'll be Holly, Johnny, and Nate taking the Bears, with myself taking the Colts. Then down in Pittsburgh, yet another holy consensus pick, with all of us taking the Chargers. Then we started getting into the later games. Fully consensus in Seattle, with all of us taking the Dolphins over the Seahawks. Then we head down to Vegas, with all of us taking the Raiders over the Panthers.
This is the one game I have the Raiders winning, by the way.
It is the rest of these games minus the last one are all just consensus. We have down in LA, all of us taking the Niners over the Rams. In Arizona, we got the Dan Campbell led Lions taking a game over the Cardinals. This one hurts, but the next one down in Dallas, all of us taking the Ravens over the Cowboys. And the main event of the night, everyone has the Chiefs taking down the Falcons. And then for Monday night, consensus, everyone has the Bills beating the Jaguars. And the last game in Cincy, Johnny, Nate, and myself all have the Bengals, where Holly has the Commanders.
I will say, how much of a welcome to the NFL moment would it be if Jalen Daniels beats the Bengals on the road? That would be incredible. I don't see it happening, but that would be incredible.
It would, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was very interesting to go over this the first time. You're like, wow, a week where we all, for the most part, agree on things. Weird.
Yeah.
Also, thank God for Sunday where there's 5 afternoon games, second slot games, so you don't actually have the big slog between actual things happening, like you get on the 3 game days.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and a shame for the Falcons on their first few games.
Hey, it's fine.
After this, it eases up for them,
Oh,
for sure.
It very much is, of course, after this.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really too much to talk about on this week because we didn't really disagree.
No.
No.
There was a couple games, and most of it was like Holly, and then like 1 or 2 were me.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm another week where at this point I'm looking forward to when I don't know what these teams are actually going to look like.
I think, yeah, most of it was Holly, and then like the Colts game was me. And the Colts is just like, it's an indie. 2, the Bears that don't really know what to expect with the Bears. And the Colts, while they're not the greatest team, they still had a decent defense. And as long as Anthony Richardson's looking fine, it's still early enough in the year, at least, where he's going to be there, probably. They should be playing at least better than the Bears at that point. So that's at least why I had them.
I love the probably part of it.
I mean, with how he was playing last year, you don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's why I have him on 4-13. It's like I don't know where he's gonna be.
Honestly, the same thing with the Commanders, because Jaden Daniels was more. If you watched him at LSU, he was even more reckless than Anthony Richardson was,
which is saying a lot.
Yeah, because he does not slide, at least most of the time.
I don't remember him sliding in the preseason either.
Yeah, no, he just gets rocked.
Yeah, that's a good way to make sure you have a short NFL career. Just ask a guy who was recently fired from ESPN.
Yep.
And it doesn't help that this is a lineage with the, Commanders too. RG3, even worse, Joe Theismann. So not a great lineage to have on that team.
All right. Well, moving on to week 4. Some unanimous, at least at the beginning, but unanimous pick for Cowboys over Giants on Thursday night. Unanimous to have Bengals beat the Panthers on Sunday. Another unanimous pick is Falcons beating the Saints at home. Now we get a little bit split up as we have the Jaguars beating Texans Charlotte, the only one believing in the Texans at homes there. Charlotte, you know why Cowboys and Giants are on prime time? It's just tradition.
I'm so tired of it.
I know a lot of people are. It's never a fun game. But yeah, unanimous pick to have the Jets beat the Broncos at home. Another unanimous pick to have the Packers beat the Vikings at home. Split pick for Steelers at Colts. As I almost called you Hilo again. As Holly and Shiloh picked the Steelers, whereas Johnny and I picked the Colts, and the tiebreaker went to the Colts. Okay, Johnny, Shiloh, and I have the Rams beating the Bears at Chicago, whereas Holly picked the Bears. Unanimous pick to have the Eagles beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. Another unanimous pick to have the 49ers beat the Patriots at home. Go figure. And I think I forgot to mark down Johnny's name for here somehow.
You sure did.
Yeah, another unanimous pick for Cardinals to beat the Commanders at home. Johnny, Holly, and I have the Chargers beating the Chiefs at home. Whereas Shadow went with the Kansas City team. Split pick for Browns at Raiders, as Johnny and I picked Cleveland, and Holly and Shiloh picked Las Vegas, and the tiebreaker went to the Browns. For the Sunday night game of Bills and Ravens, Holly was alone for the Bills, whereas the rest of us went with Baltimore. Monday night game, unanimous pick to have the Dolphins beat the Titans at home, and majority pick for Lions beating the Seahawks at home. The Seahawks getting their votes only from Holly.
I mean, no real, I would say, arguments here, honestly.
I'm surprised that many people went with the Chargers for that game.
I think it's just because it's a. I mean, it's weird. You can never call a Chargers home game a home game, really. But
yeah, exactly.
And
I
it's just
think
a weird one.
Yeah, it's also very early on in the season. Is the biggest thing. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fire underneath you that early on.
What do you mean, you guys? I'm not a Chargers fan.
I'm sorry. I think
I just like the Chargers because my friend is a Chargers fan.
I think the straight community very much likes the Chargers. I don't know what you want from me. So I'm sorry. Do you want to repeat that? Huh?
Listen, neither team
my
has
friend,
a wide
my
receiver.
friend is great. Who does like the Chargers? Yes.
Ugh,
But also, don't be disrespecting my boy Justin Herbert like that. Don't associate him with the straights. All right?
I believe one of the individuals who wasn't here said he went out and got himself a lesbian haircut. So
He did.
I can't say one way or the other. But what I can say is we roll into week 5. Week 5, of course, we go into Thursday Night Football where we have a unanimous decision where the Falcons beat the Bucks. We get, was this our first game in London or second game
First
in
London game.
We go to our London game, first of the year. We have myself, Nate, and Shiloh, of course, having the Jets beat the Vikings. Hollywood's going for the Vikings. And then we, of course, go proper into Sunday. Big old one-sided pick here where all of us have the Bears beating the Panthers. And then we roll into Washington where myself, Nate, Shiloh, everyone here, of course, has the Browns beating the Commanders. Holly has them winning. Dolphins, of course, are facing the Patriots. This is a weird one for me because, again, everyone here, again, has the Dolphins win. Holly has the Patriots picking up win there. I don't know. And then we go into the place Tony Khan built, Jacksonville, where Holly and Nate have the Colts beating the Jaguars, while myself and Shiloh have them winning. Coin flip it, Jaguars win it. This is an interesting one. This is I didn't realize this one was full one-sided, where the Texans beat the Bills. We all agree. It is at home, but still, we all agree. And then this is another big one, of course, where we're in Cincy. Everyone here, including Holly, has the Bengals beating the Ravens. And then, of course, this is also another interesting one. These are 3 interesting ones in a row, I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
Where the Broncos, everyone here, including Holly, has the Broncos beating the Raiders. And then this one makes sense. After that, we roll into 49ers versus the Cardinals. Everyone here, including Holly, has the 49ers winning. Then we hop all the way up to Washington, listen to some grunge, put on some flannel, and then myself, Nate, and Shiloh have the Seahawks beating the Giants, but Holly thinks they're going to win. We then head down south a little bit, where the Rams are predicted to win because of Holly, Nate, and Shiloh saying so. I think a little bit differently, but that's also, again, that's a big what-if game, to be very honest. And then we head to Pittsburgh, where everyone, including Holly, has the Cowboys beating the Steelers. We head to Monday night, where we head to KC. Everyone here, including Holly, has the Chiefs beating the Saints, and this is the first week with the bye, where the Eagles, the Chargers, the Lions, and the Titans all have a week off. And keep in mind, kids, it's week 5.
Yeah.
Week 5.
That is bad
Yeah.
when you're the Chargers and you have injury issues usually.
Honestly, it's weird that 2 teams we were all super high on also have their bye this early.
Yeah. Also, I just sort of the one that confuses me the most is the Colts Jaguars, because the Colts don't win in Jacksonville ever.
I looked it up before to see like what the actual history is. It's actually a lot more 50-50 over like the last.
Well, I mean,
15
at
or
least
so years
recent
than people
history,
think.
they don't. Yeah, recent history anyway.
Yeah.
They have not won in quite some time. It's like, when was the last time they even won in Jacksonville?
I think that was also a game where I kind of like went over it quite a while and ended up being like, all right, I'm just gonna coin flip because they feel even right now. Who did the Jaguars play last? I might have played into it as well. Texans. Okay, yeah, because they'd be tired out after a good, strong win over the Texans, so the Colts can get them off that.
Colts at Jaguars. Jaguars. I'm trying to find.
It's interesting though that this was another largely unanimous decision week. We're not gonna have a lot of those going on. We get very split as this goes on.
The last time they beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville was 2014.
Really?
First for everything.
It's been 10 years.
Damn.
Assuming I read that right.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Yeah. Shall we want to go ahead and talk about week 6 now then?
Week 6. Oh, that is an interesting one to start off with. Thursday
Yeah.
night football. We have the Niners and Seahawks. Johnny and Nate have the Niners. Myself and Holly have the Seahawks, and the coin for the tiebreaker went with the Seahawks and the home team. Then we head up to London for the second time, and we all unanimously picked while they are listed as the away team, we all know them as the true home team because they play here every fucking year. The Jaguars taking down the Bears in that game. And we head into the actual true Sunday games down in New Orleans with Holly and Nate picking the Bucks, myself and Johnny taking the Saints, which is surprising that it's us two of all people taking the Saints. And the coin flip for the tiebreaker will take the Saints. So that's where that goes. Down in Baltimore, consensus has the Ravens beating the Commanders. Up in Green Bay, another consensus pick with the Packers beating the Cardinals. Yet another consensus pick in Tennessee, the Titans at home taking down the Colts. A fourth straight consensus pick in Foxborough with CJ Stroud and the Texans beating the number 3 pick in this year's draft, if he's playing. I mean, the Patriots, the Texans winning that. And then in Philly, after I get a drink of water, we have a split with myself and Johnny taking the Browns and Holly and Nate taking the Eagles, with the away Browns getting the coin flip in their favor. And then next in Denver at Mile High, Unanimously, we all have the Chargers coming in and taking the win there. That's a lot of unanimous wins here. Steelers coming into what?
We're a hive mind now.
We kind of are. A lot of the ones I'm getting are like a lot of unanimous wins. Steelers coming into Las Vegas and taking the win, with all of us taking the Steelers on that one. Same thing on the Falcons-Panthers game. All of us taking the Falcons on that one in Carolina. The next pick, I originally, I believe, had the Lions on this one. I think this is what the one game that I flipped that moved the Cowboys from 10-7 to 11-6, just to kind of even things out. But Holly, Johnny, and Nate had the Lions, where I had the Cowboys. So the Lions win that. So this technically probably should be a unanimous one. Then that one's in Dallas as well. In New Jersey, we all have the Bengals taking down the Giants. Unanimous pick. And then for Monday Night Football, we have the in London.
No, from London. No, I marked this as like.
Oh, okay. I'm misreading that. Okay, they're coming in from London. Holly and Nate have the Bills, where Johnny and myself have the Jets, and this in Jersey, the coin flip agrees that the home team will take that. And then on the bye this week, in week 6, are the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and the JJ McCarthy list Vikings.
It is interesting that the only team coming off a bye that, for the consensus, doesn't win their game are the Eagles. And like that's one of the main reasons why I had the Eagles win against the Browns. It's just getting off that bye, having more time to prep.
A lot of it for me was just like they minus the quarterback situation. The Browns are just more complete of a team. Not too much more, but like a little bit. And that defense is just disgusting.
And in a similar vein, I had the Bills beat the Jets in New York because the Jets would be not as well rested because of the jet lag they'd be experiencing still. Although maybe an extra day because of Monday night cancels it out.
I just don't trust the Bills. They lost so much this year.
And they did lose to the Jets, who lost Aaron Rodgers 3 snaps in last year in week 1.
As long as Aaron Rodgers is okay, like I trust that Jets team a lot more. I don't trust them enough to like trust them, but I trust them more than I trust that Bills team.
Did you have anything, Johnny?
No, this week, like you said, we became very much a hive mind. We're very all kind of locked in. Realistically, let me double check the week real quick. There's nothing really I would change too much here, honestly. Maybe Browns Eagles, but probably that's about it, honestly.
Yeah, like I said when I was reading it, the only one I really deviated too much from you guys on was the Cowboys game, and I only changed that just to kind of even things out for like the record's sake. But otherwise, I agree with you guys that the Lions are probably winning that game.
You just know the Lions players are going to use.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
How last game went as a big motivation.
You have to.
Fair, that play should have never happened because there should have been a penalty called on the Lions before that anyway. So.
We're the underdog, but also we should win all the time. Trailing our players.
I never said that. What?
Yes, you have. What do you mean?
I've never said the underdog thing. What?
No, but you give off the energy of you want your team to be an underdog, but also want them to win.
What? No.
Yeah. When you're like, we're gonna suck, but also make the playoffs.
Oh no, that's what the Cleveland Guardians are for baseball. They suck, but they might make the playoffs still.
We're gonna make the playoffs by default, not because we're gonna be the underdog. It's just the rest of the conference is just not good enough.
We'll see. But also kind of want them to make
weird
the
to see
playoffs.
Dak Prescott in New York next year.
Which one?
The only one that can actually get rid of their quarterback. Because Aaron
Well,
Rodgers
there's only
unfortunately
one.
still stuck there next year.
Yeah, I was about to say. You mean
There's
he's
only
going
one
to
that may
New
have a quarterback.
Jersey, Nate?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. All right, but yeah, moving on to week 7. For Thursday nights, I am the only one that thinks the Broncos can beat the Saints at home. Everyone else going with the home team. We have our second London game in a row featuring the Jaguars as well, as we all pick the Jaguars to win against the Patriots. Split vote here, as Johnny and Shiloh have the Lions beating the Vikings in Minnesota after Vikings are off their bye, whereas Holly and I have the Vikings winning, but the coin flip went to Detroit. Over in Buffalo, Holly, Johnny, and I have the Bills beating the Titans. We have a unanimous pick in Indianapolis as the Dolphins beat the Colts. Split votes here in Atlanta as Holly and I have the Seahawks winning and Johnny and Shiloh go with Atlanta. And the coin flip went to the Seahawks. In Green Bay, Holly, Johnny, and Shiloh have the Texans winning. I am the only one who's on Green Bay's side. Then in Cleveland, it is Johnny, Shiloh, and I going with the Bengals versus a Browns team who just did 3 away games in a row for some weird reason. Holly being the one who went with the Browns. Another split votes for the last of the first lot of games. Over in MetLife, as Johnny and I picked the Eagles to win, and Holly and Shiloh picked the Giants. Tiebreaker went to the Giants. Over in LA, after their bye, unanimous pick to get the Rams over the Raiders. Split vote again for Panthers at Commanders, as Johnny and Shiloh picked Carolina, and Holly and I picked Washington. Tiebreaker went to the Commanders. Interesting game here. We have the Chiefs at 49ers. Shiloh being the only one who picked the 49ers. The rest of us went with Kansas City. Sunday nights is Jets at Steelers. Split vote here, as Holly and I picked the Steelers. Johnny, Shiloh, and a tiebreaker picked the Jets. On Monday night, we have the Ravens picked by Johnny, Shiloh, and I over the Bucks, as well as Chargers at Cardinals. Holly, Johnny, and I picking the Cardinals. On bye this week are the Cowboys and the Bears. Hey, we got a lot more split picks, especially tiebreaker ones.
Yeah, this week is a definite hey, we have to start figuring out where these teams are going to be, especially week 7, 8, 9. I think going to be those weeks where it's hey, this is the formula. This is what you're going to be doing for the rest of the year, either being winners or being losers. Because some teams might be 5-2, some might be 6-1, 7-0, even 4-3. But if you're on that latter side of 2-5, 3-4, either start winning now or get ready for next year.
Some of these hurt. Not really thinking the Niners and even week 1, the Ravens not getting revenge on the Chiefs for the playoffs. Ugh, it hurts.
We're gonna see who gets their revenge against Kansas City in the playoffs.
I mean, it's no revenge during the regular season for the playoffs.
Yeah,
That happens constantly.
Talking about playoffs.
But also the Chargers losing to the Cardinals. I can't see that. I just can't. The Cardinals aren't they still have so much they need to fix. I mean, both teams do really, but the Chargers just are more built well, comparatively. They just need to be one better.
listen, it's not like the Chargers have a defense that can do anything either. They have a bunch of always injured players and 2 edge rushers. They probably would have been better off getting cut in the end anyways.
Sorry, I have to lock back in. I just saw something that made me laugh. I feel
Okay.
bad laughing at it. It was. Can I share what it was just real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Price is Right host Bob Barker dead at 99. Someone commented, "My man got so close as possible without going over $1." That's fucked. Anyways,
Shut the fuck up.
let's roll into week 8, shall we? Where we start with Thursday Night Football, where the Vikings unfortunately fall to the Rams, as everyone here, including Holly, thinks that. We kick off Sunday football with the Bears beating the Commanders. Everyone here again thinks that, including Holly. We head over to London town.
No, this is not London.
Well, it says 2 weeks in London.
No.
Yeah, they've been in London for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks in London. All right, we're post London town, where myself, Holly, and Shiloh think the Jaguars are going to beat the Packers. Nate thinks otherwise. We also head down to Miami, where myself, Nate, and Shiloh think the Dolphins are going to beat the Cardinals, but Holly thinks otherwise. Jets versus Patriots. We have Holly and Nate thinking the Patriots are going to win this one, while myself and Shiloh think otherwise. We flip it in the air 3 times, and the Jets are going to take this one. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens. Nate and Shiloh think the Browns are going to take this one. Myself and Holly think the Ravens are going to win this. I really wish those 2 initials were switched. Cleveland, when the coin flip, takes this one. I can't not look at it. We head down to Texas. I know it's alphabetical. I just can't look at HJ the same name. I'm sorry. The Texans, myself and Shiloh think the Texans are going to win, while Holly and Nate think the Colts are going to win this one. Texans, of course, take it on a coin flip. Next, we go to Detroit, where everyone here, including Holly, think the Lions are going to beat the Titans. We head down to Tampa Bay, where Nate thinks the Bucs are going to win, but everyone else, including Holly, thinks the Falcons are going to take this one. We head to LA. I was only going to say San Diego. It's ingrained in my brain, where myself and Shiloh think the Chargers are going to beat the Saints, but on a coin flip and on Holly and Nate's will, the Saints are going to take this one. We then head up to Seattle, where the Supersonics don't play anymore. And the Bills, full force, are going to take this one. We then head down to Vegas, where Nate thinks the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs. I will give Nate this. It's not like we haven't seen that before. It's the biggest thing in the world.
Oh, yeah, that was just a one of like, let's go with something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No.
Point of the season.
I fully agree. Myself, Holly, and Shiloh think otherwise, of course. Chiefs are going to take that one. We then head to Denver, where the altitude is high, and for some reason I am as well, because Nate, Holly, and Shiloh think the Broncos are going. I'm just like, the Panthers have got this. We then head to Cincinnati, where Holly and Shiloh think the Bengals are going to win, and myself and Nate think the Eagles are going to take that one. But on a coin flip itself, the Bengals take it. And then we head back to San Francisco, because California is all the same to me. I don't know why. I think everything is everywhere, but everything's distanced. Where myself, Nate, and Shiloh, keep in mind, Shiloh says the 49ers are going to beat the Cowboys, but Holly thinks otherwise. We then head to Monday night, and what a stinker. Who would ever pick the Giants to win this one? Anyways, Holly, Nate, and Shiloh think the Steelers are going to win, by myself, the Giants. I didn't know that was a Monday night game.
Sure is.
Again, by the way, the Chiefs should beat the Raiders.
Oh, no. But
games.
again, it happens is the biggest thing. I agree with you. Is there no bye weeks this week? Or no teams on bye this week?
There's no bye week.
Interesting. Okay. I feel like this would be a bye week as the biggest thing.
Because it's the middle of the season, it feels like that should be the right time for a bye week.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Not week 5. But outside of me making very dumb choices, because I think win's got to come somewhere, I don't hate a lot of these picks, honestly.
I think especially the one that... Oh, God.
No, as I was saying, especially the consensus, the coin flips.
Like, the 2 that I got to comment on the most is, the one that just, stands out to me was his... I get win's got to come somewhere. I get people are, a little bit higher on the Cardinals than I think I am. But it's the same way that the Dolphins can't win in cold weather outside. It's the same way at the opposite, where in Miami teams have a lot harder to chance of winning. So it's I don't get the Cardinals winning in Miami personally.
They gel way too well in Miami,
and the opposite bench is fucking hot as fuck.
I mean, Arizona's a desert, so they're not going to complain about the heat.
Yeah, but the way that stadium is built, it fries the other team.
Yeah, the Dolphins don't have to supply air conditioning or anything to the other team. They had to bring it themselves.
Yeah,
that's how you win games.
That's why Buffalo struggles, and Buffalo and New York not New York, and New England can
And
struggle
the
with
other game,
Miami in the fall.
the other game, the thing is like the Ravens Browns is like the Ravens showed last year that they just have so much issues playing against like in the division, and also like the AFC North is like a dogfight every year. Like they struggle playing against each other, but like the Ravens especially so. So it's like
But-
that's just
At the same time, Lamar does tend to beat Cleveland, even at Cleveland.
True.
So then again, that's
True.
also with Cleveland not being in their best shape during those games.
as for the Cowboys, like it doesn't matter that we're on the bye week. We're not beating the Niners. It's like we don't have a run game. I mean, we have a better run game now that we have Dalvin Cook instead of fucking Ezekiel Elliott. But we don't like.
Very true.
We don't have a run game. They're gonna be able to stop the pass. I mean, pass is probably their weakest, part of their defense, but still. We've seen what they can do, and we have even worse offense than we had last year, and worse line than we had last year, and then we're not beating the Niners.
Speaking of Niners, can I share something just real quick?
Oh, what's
On the Ayuk deal, this deal that he's signed, he's been sitting on for 2 weeks since August 12th.
Oh.
Yep.
So he's just been having fun.
Pretty much, yeah. He's been sitting on this deal since the 12th, so
Okay.
just over 2 weeks.
He's been giving himself veteran days off.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Wow! Looking at
It's a bold
looking
move,
at week 9, there's a lot of ones that are just one of us chose the opposite side.
Yeah. They sure are, Shiloh. Take it away.
Kicking us off with Thursday Night Football, we have what could be actually a really good game, depending on how the Jets are doing, because we head on over to that terrible dump in New Jersey for the Texans and Jets, where all 4 of us took the Texans. And then we head into Sunday with we start off with the Saints coming into Carolina, where Johnny, Nate, and myself have the Saints, and Holly has the host Panthers. When we head back up to MetLife, where Nate has the Commanders, and Holly, Johnny, and myself all have the Giants taking that. Then we head even further up into actual New York, where I have the Dolphins for some reason. I think just because I trust them more than the Bills, despite the fact that it is in Buffalo. Where everyone else, Holly, Johnny, and Nate all have the Bills. We head down to Cleveland, where Johnny, Nate, and myself have the host Browns, and Holly has the Chargers. Bold move. Patriots are coming into the Titans. Nate has the Patriots, where Holly, Johnny, and myself all have the Titans. Then we continue over to Minnesota, where Johnny and Nate, as well as the tiebreaker coin flip, all have the Colts, where Holly and myself have the Vikings. We head down to Atlanta next, where Holly, Johnny, and myself all have the Cowboys, where Nate has the Falcons.
I didn't mean to pick the better friend there. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I've been laughing at something else this entire time. Myself, Holly, and Shiloh can no longer pick the same teams to win because it just goes HJs. I
know,
can't look at it. I can't look at it.
After that, we head back up to Cincinnati, where Johnny, Nate, and myself all have the Bengals, and Holly has the Vegas Raiders. Continuing on with more AFC North action, playing against the AFC West. Continuing on with Johnny just said, we have Holly, Johnny, and myself all taking the Ravens, with Nate making Bo Nix and the Broncos. We'll take that.
Why did I have the Broncos? I feel stupid. I don't like that pick.
I don't know, but you
I also
did.
don't know why I picked the Patriots over the Titans, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Then we head down to the desert with the Cardinals, with Holly, Johnny, and Nate taking the Cardinals, and just myself taking the Bears. Then back up for a NFC West matchup with in Washington, with Johnny and myself taking the host Seahawks, and Holly, Nate, and the tiebreaker coin all taking the Rams. Then, that's gonna be a fun matchup. Oh God, one of the later afternoon games in Green Bay, Lions at Packers in Green Bay. Surprisingly, that is actually very surprising. Unanimously, we all have the Packers. I'm surprised that's not more split. Huh. I guess just because it's the home team, I guess. But
The homie team.
then for the main event of Sunday night, you head to Philadelphia, where Holly, Johnny, and myself all have the Eagles, and Nate has the visiting Jaguars. And then for just a thrilling Monday night game,
What a throwaway
we all
game.
have the host Chiefs taking down the lowly Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Kansas City, with the Niners and Steelers getting bye weeks that week in Week 9.
I mentioned
that
it
is week
too.
9.
I feel dumb about that I don't actually trust after looking at it again. I'm okay with the Jaguars over the Eagles that I had as well, though. That one feels like it might be more even than people could guess.
Like I'm pretty good with most of my picks. Looking at it, the only real ones I like kind of iffy about, I guess, is maybe the Vikings game, and then maybe the Dolphins Bills, purely just because it's in Buffalo. But like, I still again trust the Dolphins more.
Entirely.
It's also
fair,
early.
yeah.
It's also early enough in the year where it may not be too cold.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna be that cold. It's probably just gonna be like 50 or 60 degree temperatures.
Also,
Which
that
is
might be
not that
early
bad.
enough in the morning where it's also not as cold.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's in the 1 p.m. Eastern slot of games.
okay, so yeah, they'll be fine temperature-wise.
That's 10 a.m. for you West Coasters.
It sure is.
Quick maths. Did you have anything, Johnny, you wanted to go over real quick?
No, I'm pretty sure you guys handled the rough and neat of it. I outside of the way the lettering lines up, I wouldn't change anything.
I didn't think about that at the time. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, Nate. It's just how the alphabet works, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to week 10 then. As we start with Thursday night game, where we have a unanimous decision for the host Ravens to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Then we have our Germany game, which is a split decision here. Johnny and Shiloh picking the Giants, and Holly and I picking the Panthers, tiebreaker going to Carolina. We head over to the Windy City as the Patriots visit the Bears. Unanimous decision to say that the Bears get the victory. Another unanimous decision to have the Niners coming off of a bye beating the Buccaneers. Another unanimous decision to say that the host Chiefs are going to beat the Broncos. We have Bills at Colts. Holly picking the Colts. Johnny, Shiloh, and I picking the Bills. Unanimous decision to say that the Steelers coming off their bye are going to beat the Commanders. We have Vikings at Jaguars. I'm the dissenting vote saying the Vikings can win, whereas everyone else picked the Jaguars. Split vote here for Falcons at Saints. Johnny and I, as well as the tiebreaker, going to the Nylons team. And Shiloh and Holly. I have to say Shiloh's name, otherwise I'm going first. Otherwise I'm going to keep doing that. Shiloh and Holly picking Atlanta. split decision here for Titans at Chargers, as Holly and I picked Tennessee, whereas the formerly San Diego team gets the victory with a tiebreaker, and Johnny and Shiloh's votes as well. We have Jets at Cardinals, Johnny being the only one to pick the Kyler Murray team, whereas the rest of us go with Aaron Rodgers or whoever his backup could be. Who knows who's actually playing at that point? Okay, but yeah, we have, I guess this is because it's a home team that it's a unanimous pick for Eagles to lose to the Cowboys in Dallas. A split vote here for Lions at Texans. Should be a fun Sunday night game if all goes well. Holly and I went with the host team, Houston, while Johnny and Shiloh picked Detroit, and the tiebreaker going to the Lions as well. Another game here for Dolphins at Rams. Shiloh and Holly picking Miami, and Johnny and I picking Los Angeles. And the tiebreaker going to the McVay team as well. Instead of the disciple of McVay. No, he was the disciple of Shanahan. That's right.
Who was?
The Dolphins head coach. I forget if he's from the McVay or Shanahan tree right now.
I thought he was a Belichick.
Shanahan.
Okay,
Was he?
that's right. That's right, yeah.
He was under Shanahan and his dad, and then they all came to Atlanta, and then they all fucked off, and then...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on bye this week are the Browns, Packers, Raiders, and Seahawks. I don't think there's really a lot of interesting or out there picks necessarily, honestly.
Also, not the best week. There's some good games here, but not great games.
Yeah. That Germany game could be two teams at 1 or 2 wins. I'm sorry for what we're sending over to Munich.
Yeah.
So there's something about the last few games that are some of the best of the week, though.
Yeah, but to get to that point, it's a lot of rough. Like, again, Giants, Panthers, Patriots, Bears, Steelers,
Bills-
Commanders, Vikings,
Those Colts can
Jags.
low-key be pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on how-
Maybe. And then
It
of
depends on the
course-
Colts.
Yeah, we don't know where they're going to be in week 10. This is the biggest thing in the world.
A rare good Thursday night game, though.
Oh, yeah. Also, honestly, so far this season, there's actually been quite a few good Thursday night games. I think Amazon
Got upset about it, yeah.
Yeah, just yelled at Goodell about the scheduling and made sure they got good games.
Hold on, gamers. Let me go to week 11 here. Let me start off with the game that's definitely going to cook. Week 11, we go on a Thursday night, the Commanders versus the Eagles.
Okay, never mind.
Where everyone here, including Holly, thinks the Eagles are going to take it. We start off Sunday right with the Dolphins and Raiders. Holly and Nate think the Raiders are going to win. Myself and Shiloh think the Dolphins are going to win. We coin flip it, and Dolphins take it. We go down to the bayou, where the Browns full hearted. I think we're going to beat the Saints. Everyone here, including Holly, thinks they're going to win. We head up to the Tennessee, where the Titans and everyone here, including Holly, thinks the Titans are going to be the Vikings. We then head to Chicago, and this is kind of a big one just because it's Chicago at home is the biggest thing against this team specifically. Everyone here thinks the Packers are going to go on the road and beat the Bears at home. We didn't go to Detroit, where Team HJ has the Lions winning over the Jaguars of Nate and Shiloh, but it's decided by a coin flip, so take that as what you will. We then head to New England, and oh my goodness, how could you? Ugh. Anyways, the Patriots. Shiloh thinks the Patriots are going to be the Rams at home. Interesting, because myself, Holly, and Nate don't think that's going to happen. And then we head to Pittsburgh. God knows what's going to be happening week 11 in Pittsburgh. Genuinely. But hey, we all think that, including Holly, the Ravens are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. We then go down to San Francisco. Myself and Shiloh think the 49ers are going to beat the Seahawks, where Holly and Nate think otherwise, and a coin flip decided the Niners take this one. We then head up to Denver, where the Broncos are going to lose to the Falcons because of the myself, Nate, Shiloh thinks so. Holly thinks otherwise. That's an interesting pick. This one, though, I will say, this one stuck out a lot, obviously, looking at it. Myself, Nate, and Holly think the Bills are going to win, where Shiloh thinks otherwise. I don't hate that, though. I will openly say that. I don't hate that decision. Then we head to San Diego. I mean, LA. I mean, Oakland. I mean, LA. Where everyone here thinks the Bengals are going to beat the Chargers. We then head to Monday night, where we head down there to the Lone Star State, where the team of Texas is going to win against the Cowboys. Everyone here thinks so, including Holly. We then head on to a bye week for the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Buccaneers, and Giants. Hey, would you believe no talent was lost on this bye week? If there wasn't.
Yeah.
There's also the Jets Colts.
Yeah. Oh, is there Jets Colts? I missed the Jets and the Colts.
Yeah.
Where's the Jets and the Colts?
It's Sunday night game.
It's
Right
the main
before
event.
Monday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I glossed over it. Sorry. Holly and Shiloh think the Colts are going to win. Myself and Nate think the Jets are going to win. And the consensus pick, the coin flip of it all, thinks the Jets.
That's Sunday night game 2. That's the main event of the night.
Yeah.
I think that's
Could be.
why my brain skipped over it, honestly. I was like, no.
That's fair.
No.
Charlie, you're
I
not
don't remember
going to
why
go
I
with
picked
Chiefs
the
beating the
Patriots.
Bills because that's just normal. That's expected.
God, no. God, no.
That's why I picked it. It's because that's
Yeah.
normal. I do that every time.
Yeah. Again, that's probably the one I would definitely, if I had to go another way, I would go Chiefs, honestly.
I can't remember why I picked the Patriots to win, other than I guess I just needed to give the Patriots a win somewhere.
Oh, that's interesting. Give me 1 second, gamer.
The Patriots will have one extra day of rest, but they're also hosting the game after being away 2 weeks in a row.
What were the wins I gave them? I gave them the win week 1 against the Bengals, just because it's week 1. Early Bengals, weird shit happens. I think it's the second. Yeah, this was the second win I gave them.
Wow. So they'd be 1-8 or 1-9 at this point then.
Oh no, this was their third and last win. I had them starting
Oh.
2-0. I had them starting 2-0, and then
You gave them hope.
I gave them a little bit of hope.
We're gonna
And
do it, and then
they go to 2-8. They're 3-8 after this game.
that's where a head coach gets fired if you go 2-8.
2-8 after starting 2-0.
But yeah, again, I don't think obviously would change the most obvious game, and also the bye week is the best bye week for the shitty teams to figure out how the rest of the season is gonna go.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
So we go from a pretty shitty Thursday night game to something that could actually be pretty fun, or could also be bad, depending on how the visiting team does. With the Steelers coming into Cleveland. Holly, of course, backing her Steelers, and the rest of us, Johnny, Nate, and myself, all taking the Browns here. We head on into Sunday, where Nate's got the Titans, and the rest of us. Johnny, ever since you brought it up, I can't look at it the same. Holly, Johnny, and myself all taking the host Texans to win that one. Then in Chicago, a unanimous decision with all of us taking the Bears to win that over the Vikings. In a split decision, interestingly enough, Johnny and myself taking the Cowboys in Maryland over the Commanders, with Holly and Nate taking the Commanders, and the coin flip goes to the Cowboys. Then down in Miami, as they tend to do, all of us unanimously picking the Patriots to lose in Miami, as per usual. Then in Carolina, we have Johnny, Nate, and myself taking the Chiefs to beat the Panthers, with Holly picking the Panthers to win that. Surprisingly enough, this one is split. Holly and Johnny taking the Bucks to come into MetLife and beat the Giants, where Nate and myself have the Giants, and the coin flip goes in favor of the visiting Buccaneers. Up next in Indianapolis, Holly has the hosting Colts, and Johnny, Nate, and myself all have the visiting Lions. Then in Las Vegas, Holly, Nate, and myself all have the Raiders, where Johnny has the Bo Nix-led Broncos. In Seattle, a split decision, with Holly and Nate taking the Cardinals, and then Johnny and myself taking the Seahawks, with the coin flip in favor of the Cardinals. And then the last game of the afternoon slot, with Holly, Nate, and myself all taking the 49ers as they come into Lambeau Field, with Johnny taking the Packers. And then for the Sunday night game, Holly, Nate, and myself also have the Eagles as they come into SoFi Stadium, with Johnny taking the Rams. And last but not least, the Monday night game, same group of three, Holly, Nate, and myself taking the Ravens to come into SoFi as well, where Johnny has the Chargers to win that one. With the Falcons, Bills, Bengals, Jags, Saints, and Jets all getting buys this week.
Them Harbaugh boys are at it again.
Indeed. Harbaugh Bowl, Monday night.
I want to see that game. I'm excited for that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that should be a fun game. It's definitely going to talk about it as a sibling rivalry game.
True.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why it's a primetime game to begin with.
Oh, for sure.
Probably, yeah. Especially you got a few players and coaches from that team, from the Ravens, coming over to the Chargers as well.
Yeah.
Whatever team was hiring Jim Harbaugh was going to get that game eventually down the road. Like, whoever he's coaching is going to face the Ravens.
I mean, it should be a fun game overall, not just because of that, because it's probably going to be two actually good teams, if not two fun teams.
Yeah.
Let's see now. By the way, my thing for Titans beating the Texans was most really centered on the fact that the Texans, on the idea that the Texans might be a little bit tired out from facing the Cowboys as the away team on the Sunday night game. And that's like the only reason why I went with the Titans.
Entirely valid, honestly.
That's fair.
Do y'all have anything else from this week that you wanted to bring up?
Let's see.
Honestly, not really.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where the Rams had to get a win somewhere. But outside of that, that's probably the one I would swap the most if I had to. But outside of that, I'm fine with it.
I think if I had to swap any of these, I think this is just one of the ones where, in a similar vein, like I had to give the Raiders wins somewhere. So this is kind of why I didn't go with the Broncos here. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm fine with what I got.
It's yeah, I don't really have a lot that I can argue with either. But a lot of these games still feel like they should be close. That if there's like a dissenting vote on. But otherwise, yeah, these feel pretty likely outcomes, honestly. All right.
No.
Well, let's move to Thanksgiving weekend now, everyone. As for the first game that a lot of people are going to be watching before their meals are ready is Bears at Lions, where we are all in agreement that the Lions will come out victorious. Next up are the Giants at Cowboys for the Cowboys' annual Thanksgiving game. I am the lone vote picking New York the MetLife team to win, whereas everyone else picked the Cowboys. For Dolphins and Packers, Johnny picked the Dolphins, and the rest of us picked Green Bay. For the Black Friday game, we're all in agreement that the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders in Kansas City. On Sunday, we have Texans and Jaguars, Shiloh picking Houston, the rest of us going with Jacksonville. We have Colts at Patriots, Johnny picking Patriots, the rest of us going with Indianapolis. We have Chargers at Falcons, Falcons coming off their bye. Shiloh believing in the Harbaugh Chargers, and Holly, Johnny, and I going with the Falcons. We're all in agreement that the Jets coming off their bye and hosting are going to beat the Seahawks. Split vote for Titans at Commanders, as Shiloh and I have the visiting team Tennessee winning, as Holly and Johnny go ahead and believe the host team wins. Tiebreaker went to the visiting team. We have Steelers at Bengals, where Shiloh is alone and believing in Pittsburgh, while the rest of us believe in Burrow, who I believe are they coming off a bye? No. Okay, but and then we have Cardinals at Vikings, which is a split game. Johnny and I believe in Arizona, while Shiloh and Holly believe in Minnesota. Another split game with Rams at Saints, Saints coming off their bye. Johnny and Shiloh going with LA, whereas Holly and I go with New Orleans. For Buccaneers at Buccaneers at Panthers, Holly of the HJs go ahead and pick the Bucks, whereas I'm alone and believing in Carolina hosting. For Eagles at Ravens, the Eagles finally beat an AFC North team this season, as Holly, Johnny, and I picked the Philadelphia team to beat Baltimore, Shiloh being alone on the other side. We have 49ers at Bills, as Johnny's alone and believing in San Fran, while the rest of us believe in a Buffalo team coming off their bye. And then on Monday night, we have Browns at Broncos. Holly, Johnny, and I believing in the Browns, and Shiloh being alone in Broncos. And honestly, thinking about that now, this is another thing of like, I guess Denver can get the boost in some of these games, just because Mile High is actually a notoriously difficult stadium to play in because of the difficulty to breathe. And the Browns have had a bad history in Denver.
It's all like that, and also it's like with me, it's like it's another. I had to give the Broncos wins somewhere because I knew they weren't going to be too bad, and like I expect Bo Nix to pull them to more wins than they probably should have. So, like they're not going to make the playoffs or anything, but they'll win like 6-7 games probably.
Bold assumption, but we'll have to see.
I don't know if that's too bold. Like they're still not going to be good.
Okay. Very tepid reaction.
Fair enough.
Very lukewarm, if you will.
Also, I can't remember what my
why is
decision for the
lukewarm?
Giants was. What did Giants or Cowboys do that would make me think Giants had a shot?
Why do you want me to have a bad Thanksgiving, Nate?
Yeah,
By all
Nate.
means, I believe in reality it probably would be the Cowboys winning.
I believe in reality.
I just want to have a good holiday, man.
Yeah, you want to celebrate my birthday?
Yeah.
Woo, birthday!
Is that gonna be on your birthday again this year?
God, no. I would I would do something in Minecraft if I had to be on Thanksgiving again this year. That'll work on my birthday last year. But we move on to week 14, where I will say first that the Ravens, Broncos, Texans, Colts, Patriots, and Commanders are all on a bye week, so we're not going to see them in action this week. We do kick off the week with a Thursday night banger as the Lions take on the Packers. Ollie, Nate, Shiloh all think the Lions are going to win, and I think the Packers might squeak one out. Probably not. Then we jump to Sunday, where Holly, Nate, Shiloh think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Browns. I think the Browns are going to win. We'll see. That's always a defensive game up in Pittsburgh and so too.
It's gonna be a baseball score.
It's going to be a baseball score. We then head up to New Jersey, where Holly and Shiloh think the Giants are going to beat the Saints. Well, Nate and myself, of course, don't think so. But the coin flips, it rolls, it spins, and the Giants are going to take that one. We then head down to Miami, where silliness happens. All of us, including Holly, think the Dolphins are going to are going to beat the Jets. I don't want to call it upset. I don't know why I did. And then we head to Tennessee, where myself, Holly, Nate, and Shiloh all think the Jaguars are going to beat the Titans. We then head to Minnesota, where, okay, Nate, I see how it is. The Falcons, Holly, myself, and Shiloh, the HJs, think the Falcons are going to beat the Vikings. Nate is on the other side of that. I see how it is. The Panthers and Eagles up in Philadelphia, myself, Holly, Nate, and Shiloh, all think the Eagles are going to beat the Panthers. That's not a hard one. We then head down to Tampa Bay, where Holly, Nate, Shiloh all think the Raiders are going to beat the Buccaneers, or I just think the Buccaneers might win this one. Keyword is might, though. Head to Arizona, where everyone here, including Holly, thinks the Seahawks are going to beat the Cardinals. We then head to the San Francisco. I just love saying San Francisco. 49ers are going to beat the Bears, except for Holly. Holly thinks the Bears are going to win. It's going to be interesting. We then head a little bit to north, south, east, west. I don't know where LA is.
I think it's south, isn't it?
We head somewhere in California, maybe near Sacramento. We'll see.
That's certainly not accurate.
No, the joke is every team goes to Sacramento because they don't want to play in Oakland anymore.
No one goes to Sacramento.
You go to Sacramento.
I don't ever go to Sacramento.
The Bills, myself, Nate, and Shiloh think the Bills are going to beat the Rams, except for Holly. Holly has faith. We didn't go to Kansas City, where Nate and Shiloh think the Chiefs are going to beat the Chargers. Holly and myself think otherwise, but the coin never lies. Or it does. I don't know.
He's winning on a coin flip again.
We've never actually interviewed the coin. And then we head to Monday night, where the Cowboys in Dallas, Holly, Nate, Shiloh, are all going to think the Cowboys are going to win. But I don't think so. I think the Bengals win. And then we go to the next week, because I thought there was one more game.
I think you're right, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not like I wanted the Cowboys to lose. I have them in the playoffs and everything. It just
No, you want me to lose and be sad.
That's a coin flip game. You can't tell me otherwise.
No, it's not. It's 3-1.
Well, you know what I mean by a coin flip game.
Also, Shiloh, I imagine Joe Burrow is one of the few players you'd be okay with seeing beat Dallas.
I don't know.
Hey, if it helps him on his way to beating the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I'd rather see just Herbert do it, but sure.
Who?
Justin Herbert.
Oh.
The best quarterback in the AFC West.
The punch buggy? The Volkswagen Beetle?
Shut up.
I am a little interested in why Holly believes in Caleb Williams beating San Fran.
That'd be a bold play, honestly.
In Levi's?
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, we've seen road upsets is the biggest thing.
For the most part, though, the other ones where there's one dissenting vote, I don't really have too much to talk about. I mean, I guess there's me saying the Vikings or the Falcons. I don't know. I think it's just a thing of traveling, as well as wondering what Kirk is going to look like against the team he was just playing for.
Very true. But again, it's also, I'm not saying he's going to get hurt, but we just don't know how his body's going to hold up throughout the entire year. Is the biggest thing.
Fair enough.
I have to check something real quick.
Oh.
It's gonna. Okay, there's that game.
Hey, but by the way, I'm pretty sure we're done with 5 weeks at this point in the season.
I believe so as well, and if we weren't, that'd be kind of fucked.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully when an 18th game gets added, there's going to be 2 bye weeks for teams.
I don't think the Players Association wants 18 because they would have to figure out how to give them a second bye week. And I think the NFL would be like, no. We didn't say a second bye week. Your second bye week is the Pro Bowl, and then that's what's probably gonna like have it not happen.
Okay, so we start off with Thursday Night Football with the Rams coming into Levi's with finally getting their first win against the Rams after losing 9 straight in the last week of the regular season last season, with Holly and Johnny taking the Rams and Nate and myself picking the host 49ers, with the coin going in favor of the Rams. Then we head into Sunday with Holly, Nate, and myself taking the Commanders, and Johnny picking the host Saints, surprisingly. Then we go over to Cleveland with Holly, Nate, and myself again. This time taking the Chiefs over the Browns, with Johnny taking the Browns. Split decision on this one, with Holly and myself taking the host Titans in Tennessee, and Johnny and Nate taking the Bengals, with the coin flip going in favor of the Tennessee Titans. Then in Houston, we have Holly, Nate, and myself all taking the Texans, and Johnny picking the Miami Dolphins. And up next in MetLife, we have a unanimous pick with all of us taking the Ravens to come into MetLife and take that win, assumingly no problem. You never know.
Yeah.
Split decision again on this one with words. Johnny and Nate taking the Jets, and then Holly and myself picking the host Jaguars, with the coin flip going in favor of the visiting Jets. And then down in Carolina, Holly, we gotta have a talk. Holly taking the host Panthers. I'm hurt by that one. Because on the opposing side, you have Johnny, Nate, myself taking the visiting Cowboys. And then up next in LA, you have the host Chargers, picked by myself and Holly. And then the visiting Buccaneers, picked by Johnny and Nate, with the coin flip going in favor of the Chargers. Then we have 2 teams both coming off the bye in the next game, but the unanimous decision is... Surprised that that's a unanimous decision, actually. With all of us going in favor of the host Broncos in Mile High Stadium. That was probably why, honestly. It's in Denver.
Yeah.
And then up next in Arizona, Johnny, Nate, and myself all picking the Cardinals, with Holly giving the Patriots a win there. And up next, this one should be a fun game. Honestly, the rest of this week looks like it could be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, most of the rest of this week, anyway. The Lions hosting the Bills, with myself taking the Bills, and Holly, Johnny, and Nate all taking the host Lions. And then a unanimous decision in the Battle of Pennsylvania, with the Eagles hosting it this time, and all of us taking the Eagles. And then for the Sunday night game, a unanimous decision with all of us taking one of those rivalry games that's not quite like a division rivalry, but these teams seem to play each other a lot, and they definitely don't like each other, with the Packers coming into Washington, and all of us taking the Packers on this one. And then 2 Monday night games. I assume one of these is going to start like an hour beforehand. Probably like 4 something Pacific time. The other one started around 5. With the Bears coming into Minnesota, Holly taking the Bears, and then Johnny, Nate, and myself all taking the hosting Minnesota Vikings. And then the main event being the Falcons hosting the Raiders. A split decision with Johnny and myself taking the Falcons, and Holly and Nate taking the Raiders, with the coin flip going in favor of the home Raiders. And that is week 15. But Holly, how could you take the Panthers?
Honestly, I'm surprised Johnny picked the Browns.
What do you mean? I feel like that's a good choice.
No, I can see the Browns winning the game.
Maybe I'm trying to be down on the Browns, is the thing. I'm trying to get rid of that old fandom that still clings on.
No, that's fair. Would you go back to it if they get rid of the quarterback, though?
I would.
It'd be a question.
No.
I'd still not like that
No.
Haslams are the owners, and they're the ones that pushed for that quarterback acquisition.
Yeah, no, I take that back entirely. Yeah.
That's fair.
If it was just a GM thing, if it was just the GM and he also fucking was gone, then yeah. But it was the ownership as well that pushed hard for it, so no.
That's fair. Okay, that's understandable. To be fair, I also want new owners.
Yeah.
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 But it's a whole family thing, so I don't know how long that's going to take. So.
Yeah, here's what you do. You hire an outside source. I don't know who it is. Quincy Carter, perhaps.
Shut up. You shut the fuck up right now.
What?
You stop saying that name to me. I want to hear the name Quincy Carter. That hurts me still.
I mean, I guess I can't really say Ollie's pick for Patriots over Cardinals is too weird, honestly, because Cardinals don't have the pass rush to bully that offensive line, and the Patriots are coming off a bye. So, yeah, okay. That could happen.
It's out of all the spots where Patriots can get wins, it's certainly not the strangest. I've given them worse wins,
Yeah.
like beating the Bengals week 1 or beating who was it? The Saints, Broncos. I don't remember who I gave them wins against.
That
No, it was the Rams.
Sorry, that Monday night game of Bears at Vikings would have been a fun game if McCarthy was playing.
That's definitely one where I think Holly might actually be in the right on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I just did that because like it's the home. They're the Vikings the home team here. So
It's near the holidays.
By the way, these last few weeks, are gonna have some weirdness to their scheduling because we have Saturday and Wednesday games coming up.
Oh God, yeah.
On to week 16.
Yeah.
Nate, take it away.
And we're going to go ahead and start with the battle for the AFC North as the Browns head over across the states to face Cincinnati. Johnny and I believing in Cleveland to win, while Holly and Shuttle, hey, actually said Holly correctly that time, go with Cincinnati. Tiebreaker went to the Browns, who are also going to be facing a Bengals team that will have just finished playing 3 games in 10 days, which is why I gave that win to the Browns. Then we have our first Saturday games, as we have Texans at Chiefs. Holly, Johnny, and I picked Houston and the Browns, while Charlotte went with the hosting Chiefs. Split decision. Honestly, looking back, it's weird that this is a split decision. But Shadow and I picked the Steelers to take a win on the road against the Baltimore Ravens, while Holly and Johnny believe that Baltimore should rightfully win this. Tiebreaker went to Pittsburgh. Oh, hi, sinners. Okay, then we get out of this the next day for Patriots at Bills, where Holly, Johnny, and Shadow all went with Buffalo. I don't know why I went with New England. I think it's just that they have to get a win somewhere thing.
It's okay, Nate. You won't be wrong on this next game, at least.
And it's the same situation as I am alone and believing in the MetLife Giants to visit the Falcons. Everyone else believing Atlanta wins. Everyone else probably being correct. All right, then it's a unanimous pick as we have the Lions going over to Chicago and picking up a dub. We have the Cardinals at Panthers next, where I am alone and believing in Carolina somehow getting a victory. Man, I think I'm alone for the most part on this week. Oh, yeah, I think okay, no, there's only one instance of someone else being a dissenting vote. That's Holly.
No, I'm also with 2 different teams.
Oh, yeah, so I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of which, we have Rams at Jets, Johnny alone and believing in the other MetLife team.
I'm alone too. At one point.
Oh,
Saturday
good.
game.
I was worried. Then we have an NFC East game with Eagles at Commanders, Holly being the only one who believes in Washington. The rest of us going with Hurts and company. Next, we have Titans at Colts, everyone in agreement that Indianapolis will take the victory there. We have a split vote here for Broncos at Chargers. Holly and Johnny believing in Bo Nix, while the rest of us believe in Herbert. The tiebreaker goes to the Sean Payton coach team. Next, we have Vikings and Seahawks. We are unanimous in believing in Seattle's best. We have Jaguars at Raiders. Holly alone for believing gambling it away in Vegas, while the rest of us go with Jacksonville. For 49ers at Dolphins, Johnny is alone in believing in Tua and Tyreek Hill, while the rest of us go with the CMC train. For Sunday night, we have Buccaneers at Cowboys. What a game this will be. As Johnny, Shiloh, and I believe Dallas will take the victory at home, while Holly thinks that Baker Mayfield can gunsling his way to a victory. And for Monday night, we have Saints at Packers, where we are all in agreement that Green Bay takes a win here.
It's because of Super Bowl 30, isn't it? Is that why you're picking against the Cowboys so much, Holly? It's because of Super Bowl 30.
Who remembers Super Bowl 30? That was like, I don't know, 20-something years ago.
Any of us alive?
Hey, it was 30.
It was 30 years ago?
Almost. Because I was 8 months old when it happened.
Oh.
And I'm 29.
I'm so sorry.
Also, some people do believe in the Broncos. Sinners, I don't know why. Some people decide Bo Nix is going to be Drew Brees 15 years into his career in his first year in the NFL with no supporting cast.
Alrighty then.
Decent receivers. I mean, not the greatest, but decent.
They got rid of Tim Patrick.
Nate, if you get one of those 3 decisions right, I'll give you the full win. Because you got Patriots, Giants, and Panthers. All in 1 week.
I picked 3 terrible teams.
Yeah.
I feel good. I
top
feel good
5
about
pick
my
teams to get a victory in the same week.
They could. We never know.
I feel good about mine as well. You know, being the Chiefs.
I don't hate mine either, to be very honest with you.
Chano, I don't know why you and I think the Steelers will beat the Ravens, other than it's just a Saturday game. Maybe that'll be weird.
It's the AFC North. It's the AFC North, man. The AFC North is always weird.
I'm very excited to roll into this next one because the coin flip decided this one as well is the biggest thing in the world. We're rolling into Christmas. We start off Christmas, open gifts.
Wednesday game, by the way.
Maybe eat some turkey, some ham. Dad won't stop yelling. Mom won't stop crying. We go to Pittsburgh, where myself and Shiloh think the Chiefs are going to beat the Steelers, but Holly and Nate think otherwise. And the coin flip, probably Nate, probably, because the coin flip decided the Steelers are going to win this one. That's going to be interesting. Then we go down to the Lone Star State, where Texas, myself, Holly, and Nate think the Texans are going to beat the Ravens, but Shiloh thinks otherwise. It's going to be interesting. We then head to Sunday, where myself, Nate, and Shiloh have the Falcons beating the Commanders, but Holly thinks otherwise. Again, starting this whole thing, Holly's very high on the Commanders. It's going to be interesting. We then head to New England, where everyone here, including Holly, thinks the Chargers are going to beat the Patriots. We go to Cincinnati. Hey, second verse, same as the first. Everyone here, including Holly, thinks the Bengals are going to beat the Broncos. God damn it, I'm going to Nate the fuck out of this next one. We then head to New Jersey, where I think the Giants are going to beat the Colts when everyone else thinks otherwise. It's probably the good pick to go on. We then head to Los Angeles, where Shiloh thinks the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals, but everyone else here, including Holly, thinks otherwise.
I'm okay with that.
Nate, I'm going to need to ask you, or do you have a problem, or you want to talk, or...
Maybe the storyline of this is going to be, man, Carolina's and Schaefer #1 pick. They might as well just reset a quarterback. Oh, and now they just won too many games to get their pick. Never mind.
Yeah.
Are they going to pull the Jets in the 1 year?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So we head down to Tampa Bay, where myself, Holly, and Shiloh think the Bucs are going to win, but Nate thinks the Panthers are going to start going on a roll this late in the season. We then go up to New York proper, where the Bills wholeheartedly beat the Jets because everyone here thinks so, including Holly. And then we go to Minnesota. Nate.
Okay, this one can make sense at least.
Does it though?
Because it's a home team that I gave the victory to.
We go to Minnesota, where Nate thinks the Vikings are going to beat the Packers, where myself, Holly, and Charlie think otherwise. We then head down to New Orleans, where myself only, and I hate that it's just me, thinks the Saints are going to beat the Raiders because everyone else thinks otherwise.
You've been picking the Saints a lot today.
I have them going 9-8. What do you? The win's got to come somewhere. And then keep in mind on this next one, I stand alone with this team. I stand alone as we go to Philadelphia while Holly, Nate,
you
and
missed
Shiloh.
Jaguars.
You missed a game.
Oh, I was gonna go back to that. I just wanted to talk about this one. Where Holly, Nate, and Shiloh think the Eagles are gonna be the Cowboys, but I think differently.
You gave the Cowboys the sweep over the Eagles. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm clearly drunk like Nate. Then we go back to Jacksonville real quick, where Holly, myself, and Nate. It's vodka. Holly, myself, and Nate think the Jaguars are going to be the Titans, while Charlotte thinks differently. We then head to Cleveland, where I'm now realizing what week this is going to be, and this is a dumb move by me, where Holly, Nate, and Shiloh think the Browns are going to win against the Dolphins. I think otherwise, but again, like I said, this is Christmas week. It's going to be very cold. We go into Monday night. We're nearing the new year when the Lions visit the 49ers. Myself, Nate, and Shiloh think the Lions are going to take this one, but Holly thinks otherwise. That's a coin flip-ish game, but we'll have to wait and see.
NFC Championship Redemption Tour.
I like that Johnny just now realized that the Dolphins are visiting the Browns on, December 29th, December 30th?
I don't know how.
And it's going to be a night game?
Yeah, it's going to be a night game.
So it's going to be cold and windy in Cleveland winter.
That Tua statue they're going to put up outside that stadium, that's just going to be Tua frozen. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's partly that I don't believe in the Cowboys in this game. It's also that I always give the Cowboys Eagles a split at this point. I just give it to the home team.
But yeah,
Gave us the sweep over the Eagles.
I can't believe we had the Steelers beat two definitely better teams in 2 weeks.
At least with the Ravens, I can understand it a bit more than I can the Chiefs. Because it's with division games, it can always get.
I think my reasoning was because it's a Wednesday game, so it's a short week game, and that's typically going to be like the home team getting the major advantage there. But still, it's the Steelers who are definitely not the Chiefs level.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, again, that's probably the biggest decision I would make differently is not having that team win in Cleveland.
Oh my god, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the one game in particular, and the one time Holly picks that team. God damn it.
All right. Oh, do we want to go to week 18, where some teams are probably going to be playing playing their second strings?
The last week of the season. Woo!
Week 18, everyone's playing on Sunday. There are no bye weeks, obviously, because this is the last week of the year. We head into Baltimore, where Holly, Johnny, and Nate all have the Ravens beating the Browns, where I have the Browns. I think that's one where I just have the Browns because I think the Ravens will probably be resting people at that point. Then we have in Las Vegas. My bad. We have the host Raiders, with Holly taking them, and then Johnny, Nate, and myself all picking the visiting Chargers. Split decision, we have the Bengals and Steelers in Pittsburgh, with Holly and myself taking the Steelers, and then Johnny and Nate taking the Bengals, with the coin flip going in favor of the Steelers
The
again.
Steelers win 3 weeks in a row against tough teams.
Off of coin flips.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, well, we have a lot of coin flips in this, at least.
Yeah.
So another coin flip game, another split decision. We have Holly and Johnny taking the 49ers. And then in Arizona, with Nate and myself taking the Cardinals. This is another one where the Niners are probably resting people at this point. When the coin flip going in favor of the Niners. Yet another split decision. We have the Panthers and Falcons in Atlanta. Johnny and myself taking the Panthers. Then Holly and Nate taking the Falcons, with the coin flip going in favor of the host Falcons. Then we have in Mile High, we have the Chiefs at Broncos, with Holly, Johnny, and Nate all taking the Chiefs, and then myself taking the Broncos. In Los Angeles next, you have the Rams and Seahawks, with myself taking the Seahawks, and Holly, Johnny, and Nate taking the Rams. I am on my own for a lot this week, I am noticing. Then in Tennessee, we have Holly, Johnny, and Nate taking the Texans, with myself taking the Titans. And then in Philly up next, we have Giants, with Nate taking them to win over the Eagles, with Team HJs, Holly, Johnny, and myself all taking the Eagles to win that. And then first one of the week, a unanimous decision for the Colts to beat the Jaguars in Indy, because I think it's kind of similar, where I think the opposite is true, where I think usually the Colts win in Indianapolis, where they don't win in Jacksonville, usually, at least as of late. And then another unanimous decision with the Vikings coming into Detroit, and we all have the Lions winning that at home. And then in Dallas, Week 18, Johnny, Nate, and myself all have the Commanders, where Holly has the Cowboys. Back to the split decisions again. You have Johnny and Nate taking the Bears, coming into Lambeau, and Holly and myself have the Packers. The coin flip in favor of the Chicago Bears. We head to MetLife for the first time this week, because the Giants are away. And the Jets hosting in cold weather, probably at this point in the year. The Dolphins, with Nate and myself taking the Jets, Holly and Johnny taking the Dolphins, with the coin flip in favor of the Jets. And then we head down to Tampa for the Saints coming into the hosting Bucks, with myself taking the Saints, and Holly, Johnny, and Nate taking the Bucks for that one. And our final game of the regular season that we are listing off, with us taking a unanimous decision with the Bills coming into Foxborough and beating the Patriots.
We can go ahead and just honestly probably waive a lot of these dissenting votes off as just being...
It's just the people are going to be resting starters for a lot of these.
Yeah, it's just we don't
That's
know.
most of the reason why I picked as weirdly as I did.
Yeah, same here, honestly. It's just the whole thing of... I mean, except for, honestly, like, people at the top of the AFC, because on my side of things, I had all the AFC division winners at 12-5, with tiebreakers being the reason why Bengals ended up getting first seed. So,
Yeah.
It was like an
And even-
actual competitive, you have to play everyone last week.
And then even with like the Cowboys, even in weeks where they need to play, like we also have a bad history with Week 18 or the last week of the season. Even when it was 17 weeks, we just have a bad history with the last week. But also, we'll probably be resting people at that point because I mean, we're not gonna assumingly at least for how we have this lined up, we won't have need of playing our starters at this point. We'll be like a game or two ahead of the next seed down. So unless we really want to try for like a 1 seed up, we won't need to play starters. So losing to the Commanders won't be the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say about this because this is a week where it'll just be confusing and you can't really think what is possible until you're in December.
Only like 4 or 5 games are really gonna matter in the end. It's how it usually is.
Anything to add, Johnny?
No, because again, we don't know how this week's going to go. If teams are actually going to be fighting for a playoff spot last week or everything's going to be decided a week before. I think that's kind of like an issue a little bit with adding the last week recently is this is like, again, an extra game, but who's to say if it's even going to be a necessary week is the biggest thing. So yeah, nothing really to add, honestly.
So to go over this now,
I'll be right back.
When it comes to playoff seeding, with our consensus picks, we have on the AFC side, Texans with the 1st seed, Chiefs with the 2nd, Bills with 3rd, Browns with the 4th seed. Then we have Jets with 5th seed, Ravens 6th, and Bengals 7. On the NFC side, we have the Lions with the 1st seed, Eagles with the 2nd, Niners with 3rd, Falcons with the 4th seed. Then we have Cowboys at 5, Rams at 6, and Packers at 7. And yeah, I mean that means that it'll be only like 3 new playoff teams, so which would be far below average of what happens. So
true, honestly, but it's again, it is all prediction. It's not all factual. So we'll have to wait and see.
And our consensus picks are also kind of like weighed a bit more into also what we agree upon as well. So we can't really claim this to be super duper accurate by any means. I also find it interesting that for our consensus picks in the AFC North, every team went 3-3 in the division.
That sounds right. Yeah, that's right. That's about right, honestly.
Yeah. All over the place elsewise, though, for other divisions. Except for the AFC East, where 3 teams were 4-2, and then they're the Patriots 0-6.
That sounds right, though.
This is very, very true.
Sounds like they split with everybody. They split with each other, but then they sweep the Patriots. Roughly what that sounds like.
All right, do we want to go into playoffs now, or do we want to go with the awards, since the awards would be getting their voting done at this point?
I say we do awards first, because again, playoffs shouldn't weigh on the obviousness of the awards, because it's regular season.
All right, let's save MVP for last. We'll go ahead and start with. Let's try comeback player of the year, because who knows what this is gonna be like. Let's make the most difficult one our starter.
I've already got mine, since I've already said it in the group chat. So Nick Chubb is my vote.
What defines, honestly, because here's the big thing. If he stays healthy, give me Anthony Richardson. Is the biggest thing.
Yeah. I think they also changed it up to be like you have to be a starter or play meaningful snaps, and it has to be an injury. It can't just be you were out of the league for a bit and came back because of the weirdness of Joe Flacco's situation.
Hey, that's their own fault, though. I will openly say that's their own fucking fault. What about you, Nate? What are you thinking?
Nick Chubb and Anthony Richardson both make a lot of sense, honestly. And how long was Diggs out last season? Trevon Diggs?
Diggs went out like pretty early on. I think he was out like week 2.
Yeah, so if he plays well, especially since he's going to have to, if he's going to be the only cornerback that Dallas has now.
He'll be at least the only one until like week. They said Bland's out for like 6-8 weeks.
Okay.
I will unfortunately say the most annoying one in the room, though. Aaron Rodgers technically did play last year.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing in the world. He technically played last year, so
If the
And
Jets
they'll
make it
give
into the playoffs, they're gonna give him comeback, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
probably.
God, that does feel like I don't want that to be the option, but it's the thing of like, fuck. If he actually plays any of the Jets make the playoffs, he is comeback player of the year.
Yeah, no. It's the same situation where everyone's like was expecting DeMar Hamlin to win it. This is gonna be a year where everyone's gonna be expecting Aaron Rodgers to win it.
And like, I would like if Anthony Richardson lights the league on fire, then he has a good chance. And Nick Chubb, if he comes back his old self and helps the Browns, especially in those December games where he's going to see more action, then yeah, there's another good one. But yeah, I'm feeling Aaron Rodgers now, God, and I don't like saying that.
Yeah.
I don't either.
All right, do we want to roll on this, or do we want to vote out of these three options?
I don't like it, but Aaron Rodgers. That's my vote.
And I personally feel Nick Chubb, but I feel like just knowing how the NFL like operates, it'll probably be Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
All right, I'll put Rodgers down. All right, so who do we think is gonna be? Let me find the odds right now to help with Coach of the Year. Oh, by the way, Aaron Rodgers is the overwhelming favorite to be comeback player of the year according to Vegas odds.
Yeah,
That makes sense. All right, but Coach of the Year, the people up front are Jim Harbaugh, Matt Eberflus, Mike McDonald, Matt LaFleur, Raheem Morris, Shane Steichen, D'Amico Ryans, Jonathan Gannon, and Robert Saleh. And I have to say, any of these coaches who are already coaching a team that is expected to make the playoffs should not be on here, because the Coach of the Year is never given to a team favored at the beginning of the season.
I will say that, of course,
I will disagree. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm also just kind of disagreeing with that, because I'll look at Jim Harbaugh and I'll look at Raheem Morris specifically. Falcons are probably going to be a playoff team, obviously, because they built a roster in the offseason to levy themselves into the playoffs. So I want to say Raheem Morris. Just now, again, it's not even because of favoritism. This team was ass last year. This team is not going to probably be a playoff team. Maybe win a playoff game. Maybe. That's why I want to say Raheem Morris. Not because, again, it's favoritism, or it's because he's already going to a team that's going to playoff. They built this team in the offseason because of him. And the GM as well.
Yeah, I disagree because on purely on the sake, like in a different way, on the sake of like D'Amico Ryans, because I just feel like he deserves those flowers, and just he should have gotten it last year. Like, I know why Stefanski deserved it and why he got it last year, but like what D'Amico Ryans did last year was equally as impressive, and he gets to where he can win it this year. I think he should, but also like I think the other ones that really, if there's going to be anyone that's going to get it, it's like I don't get Eberflus because I know people were so. If the Bears do anything special, it's not going to be because of Eberflus. It's going to be because of the team itself. Same thing with some of the other coaches that were mentioned, but if any, so for me, it's between obviously D'Amico Ryans, Jim Harbaugh, and Raheem Morris for anybody, and then maybe Sean Payton or Gerard Mayo if the Patriots can even do something remotely decent, but they're not going to.
Give him like coach of the century. Gerard Mayo could like pull that team into the playoffs.
I will say, when I mentioned that teams favored to have like a winning record, never get the Coach of the Year, that was not hyperbole. In the last like 15 or 17 years, the only two coaches who won the award while coaching for a team favored to have a winning record in the preseason were Stefanski last year and Mike Vrabel 1 year for the Titans, and that was both similar things. It's because of injuries and weird circumstances around the team that they coached up to get a good team out of still. Every other time, it's been a team expected to lose who exceeded their win total by at least 4.
I mean, with that in mind, I guess. I still feel like the coaches I mentioned, but even with that in mind, I'd probably guess like Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh, one of the AFC West coaches.
What do you think, Nate?
Well, on my personal side, I had Jonathan Gannon for the Cardinals because I had the Cardinals surprised as a playoff team, and honestly, even at 8 wins, that is probably around the. We haven't consistent. That's probably enough to get him that still.
Fair, honestly.
It's just a hard. This is just another nebulous award because this could also again be a thing of like injuries or something other big thing comes up that changes the team's directory and a coach gets the team still on track.
Yeah. I'm okay with conceding and giving it to Harbaugh.
Okay, I can see Harbaugh getting it. I'll go with Harbaugh as well.
I also think it's it's nothing against Harbaugh. It is the thing of he just came back to the league as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look over at defensive rookie. Who we think could get that now? The top options here are Leatu Latu, Dallas Turner, Byron Murphy, Jared Verse, Terrion Arnold, Quinion Mitchell, Chop Robinson, Nate Wiggins, and Peyton Wilson. Yeah, this is an award that's probably going to go to a defensive lineman because that's where you. Someone.
I very much like Dallas Turner in this scenario. That team is going to look really bad. I think he's going to shine though. I think he's still going to prove and put in the work up in Minnesota because he's going to be on the field a lot as well.
I feel like because it also like it's tough.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's not an award that gets as
feel
much
like-
attention as the offensive players unless you are a defensive rookie who just becomes a shutdown player,
Yeah.
which is very rare.
I don't want to say Byron Murphy. That's just like that's a little bit of my bias coming through, but also like it could be Byron Murphy, but I also feel like Chop Robinson because like Miami needed that at the same time. Miami can do a lot with having that there, having Chop there.
I was thinking Byron Murphy myself.
I'm
Because
good with
Sale's
you.
going to get a lot of attention, and he's going to be their only real defensive lineman.
I mean, I'm good with going Byron Murphy.
That works for me. That's 2-1.
Next up is Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is probably going to get all of the attention this season.
Oh man, I have a take. I'm gonna let you guys go first.
All right, the people who are like front runners for this are Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Bo Nix, Malik Neighbors, Drake May, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, and Lad McConkey. This is definitely Buckeyes bias coming when I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. It's also just that he's the only real target for wide receiver Kyler Murray's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Because I'm curious, Shiloh. Nate, count down from 3, and Shiloh, we would say ours at the same time.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I just think so. It's
starting quarterback. You know,
he has nothing to play for, honestly.
And I until I see it in regular season games, I don't believe Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Not yet.
All right.
Bo Nix has shown that he has a lot more of the actual tools in college than Caleb Williams did. I don't. Because a lot of the teams USC was playing in college were not good.
USC themselves last year weren't very good either.
Yeah.
I like that Caleb Williams has the arm talent where he's showing that he can process the field. At least a somewhat fast read. Bo Nix is actually a fast processor, which is good in the NFL at least.
Well, that's not what I wanted to.
I think Bo Nix has been the fastest to throw out of any of the rookie QBs in the preseason. So hey, you know what? I can see this. I can see him surprising people.
True. We'll have to get there is the biggest thing. Look at me and my wife agreeing on something.
All right. Next up is an award where there's probably only 3 real contenders, but I'll name everyone here still. We have TJ Watt, Mike Parsons, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Aiden Hutchinson, Chris Jones, Josh Allen, and Will Anderson Jr. Obviously, you can name any other player you want. These are just 2 Vegas favors.
All aboard the fucking Aiden Hutchinson train.
This might sound biased, but he's playing for a contract right now. I'm going with Micah Parsons.
It's not a bad idea. I think this might honestly be a split thing if you want to put down all 3, Nate, unless you agree with either of us.
And this was also a tough one for me because I was at first going, yeah, Micah Parsons. Cowboys are always a team people care about. He has an easy pass protection schedule to go against. And then it was a thing of like looking back and being like, oh, actually, for Defensive Player of the Year, this is the award where it's common to get back-to-back winners.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, Myles Garrett actually still has a good shot and should not be behind Max Crosby for this.
Well, I think for these 3 at least, defensive, offensive, and MVP, if we do all 3 have different choices, I think you might as well just put down like all 3 different choices.
I mean,
I could also see like Hutch is not a bad shot.
Yeah, Hutchinson actually is a good choice because he's been improving and he has a solid defensive line around him.
Yeah.
God, I'm kind of leaning to. God, I want to lean to Aiden Hutchinson now.
I'm down for putting just Hutch down.
Yeah. I've just been watching. You can see the way he's grown on the field is also the biggest thing. It makes me very happy.
Jacksonville passed on him.
What do you mean? That guy's still developing, Nate. Come on, give him time.
All right.
That's still gonna go down. Like, I know there's a lot of like bad draft picks. That's gonna be up there. Offensive Player of the Year. So this is different than MVP, guys, but kind of not really.
It's essentially the best non-quarterback on offense.
Yeah.
The favorites right now are CMC, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Bijan Robinson, and Saquon Barkley.
I don't see a world where Jefferson wins it this year.
Yeah.
Like that's the one if like out of all that, I would take him off the list is the biggest thing. Maybe also you said Breece Hall?
Yeah, Breece Hall.
Maybe also Breece Hall. And Bijan, but I like Bijan.
I love Bijan so much. I want him to be a Cowboy.
If he's healthy, I think CMC. But this silly little guy just got a big old fat contract. Give me CD. He's got to play that he's earned it now is the biggest thing, at least his first year.
And he's Dak's only wide receiver target to throw to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here. How often has a quarterback won Offensive Player of the Year?
I think there was a year or two where it was treated as essentially runner-up to MVP, but it's more likely to be next off the best offensive player who's not a quarterback. And these are people who are gonna be getting at least close to a all-time record or hit the record itself. I mean, was it Derrick Henry got 2,000 yards? I forget if he actually got it that year or not.
Oh, that's actually not a bad option. It just depends if he can hold up at his age.
I mean, I'm not saying Derrick Henry is a...
No, I'm just saying Derrick Henry could. It depends on if he can keep it up, what he's doing. Because that offense with both Lamar and him going, if they can both keep up with what they've been doing, Derrick Henry might not be a bad option.
Can I also float another idea that's, you may not like? Depending on how he's finished last season, AJ Brown.
Don't manifest that for me.
I'm just saying, am I wrong though?
No, you're not wrong, but I don't like it.
That's why I started with you're not gonna like it.
No, I know.
I will say, I am leaning more towards CD myself. But if this was before McCarthy injury, I would lean more into Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's still gonna get a lot of targets. He's still gonna look great. He's still gonna be the best part of that offense, probably the best part of that team.
He will be the best part. There's no question about that. The best part.
I didn't want to go.
There's no way Dak repeats his MVP year again.
Yeah.
He might have a good year, but he's not going to look like he might be in the running for an MVP like he was last year.
I'm also taking CMC off of consideration just because I feel like he got run into the ground last year, so I don't know how he's gonna be this year.
It's hard for these ones.
There's a lot of good options. It's just about who you think is more likely to get an all-time great year.
Does everyone have their MVP locked in though?
It's hard to say CD as well though, because he might be the only person we have really for much of the offense, but he also had a ridiculous year because he had 1,800 yards.
Sorry,
and that type of year is hard to do more than once.
Sorry, hold on. Who did you say? My headphones.
CD.
Oh, CD's nuts.
I should have seen that one coming. God damn it.
Stupid.
But yeah, I mean, it's just because he wasn't too far behind. I mean, he was still a decent chunk behind Tyreek, but he wasn't too far behind Tyreek. And Tyreek was having close to a historic year before those last few games.
Very true.
And obviously Tyreek's not going to repeat that.
No, it's very hard to.
We're expecting the top 3 receivers on this to not hit the highs they had last season. Do we want to look at Jamar Chase then? Or do we
Honestly,
think about
if Burrow's
Sun God?
healthy for the full year, it could be Jamar Chase. But that's been Burrow's problem, is he's not been able to half the time. What else we got? Let me look at the teams that are in the league. What do we got?
I mean, the next best odds are Sun God, Bijan, and Saquon.
Garrett Wilson could do it. I could see Garrett Wilson doing it, honestly.
Oh, just having a quarterback who can throw it at least somewhat accurately to him.
Yeah.
Did you just say Sun God?
Yeah, Amon Ra.
I'm wrong.
Okay. No, that threw me because I forgot about that. I was also chewing, so I'm just like.
Honestly, he'll never get considered, but I could see Amari Cooper.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Amari Cooper either.
Yeah, he'll never get considered.
Amari Cooper 5 years ago, maybe.
He had a really good year last year, though.
Why do you think the Browns offered Ayuk so much money?
You think Cooper's damn, really wish that trade would have went through?
It definitely won't be anyone on the Packers because they have 5 receivers they all use in the same amount.
Also, their offense did just take a hit with Dylan going out.
Yeah. Well, they still have Josh Jacobs. They just gotta hope Josh Jacobs works. So, yeah, I guess it's CD or Chase at this point, pretty much. That's what I'm down to personally. Just looking at the teams here, just trying to figure because it's not going to be Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a consistent guy, but he's never an outstanding guy.
I don't think he will be this year. It's nothing against Mike Evans either. It's just he's getting a little bit older, and then
he'll hit the 1K mark, and that's about.
We got to see how Baker is all throughout the year. So,
I kind of want to say Jamar Chase out of these options, personally. I mean, I'm also down to Chase or CD as well.
Chase hasn't got his contract yet, has he?
No.
Nope.
Give me Jamar. I want to see him earn it.
All right, I'm good with that.
All right, so that just leaves MVP, aka our best quarterback award, or the team that has the best record.
I already know what I want to say.
Do you want to do a 3, 2, 1, and we all say what we will have?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Joe Burrow.
Jalen Hurts. Wow, we're all different.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little like I don't know if Jamar. I said CD because I was like I feel like the moment you floated Jamar, I was like, that's gonna throw a wrench in.
Because you can't have the MVP and offensive player.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same team.
Yeah, I've got Stroud.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we essentially went with the quarterback
Especially with how we have
team that we think wins their conference.
Yeah, we also went basically three different play styles.
Yeah,
it's the biggest thing because you know Hurts is gonna have stat padding on the touchdowns. Well, CJ Stroud is gonna throw for a lot of yards, and then Burrow's gonna throw a lot of touchdowns.
They're all three good options, especially with how we have things turn out.
Since we already have Jamar, I'll forego my vote. But who do I want to pick?
I'm looking at our consensus picks. If I want to go based off of this, I'd lean to Stroud, who wins conference. And there's no way on the NFC side it'll go to Goff. Goff is not an MVP in a year.
Goff is really good, but Goff's not MVP. I'll throw it CJ's way. Especially with that receiving core, and if he stays healthy, shit.
Yeah.
He's going to put up career numbers.
Went from having an amazing rookie season to following that up with an MVP season. What a legend of a career off the bat, then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that means for awards, we have MVP CJ Stroud, offensive player Jamar Chase, defensive player Aiden Hutchinson, offensive rookie Bo Nix, defensive rookie Byron Murphy, coach Jim Harbaugh, and comeback player Aaron Rodgers.
Only one I hate is the comeback player, but can't change that.
That also means that NFC only gets 2 of the awards.
Meh.
Oh.
I mean, that's kind of deserved, though. Like, look at the NFC.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Look at it.
Right.
Look at it and be sad.
Well, it's time to go into our playoff predictions now. As on the AFC side, we have the Browns hosting the Jets, the Bills hosting the Ravens, the Chiefs hosting the Bengals. And on the NFC side, we have the Falcons hosting the Cowboys, Niners hosting the Rams, and Eagles hosting the Packers. All right, so how do we feel? Let's go in that order as well. How about Jets at Packers? Not Jets at Packers, Jets at Browns. Lord.
Browns.
Yeah, I'm good Browns.
Man, that might just be a defensive game. Defensive game with 2 quarterbacks no one cares about.
Yeah, the battle of the shitty-ass quarterbacks. Great.
Can't wait for that 13-12 game. But yeah, next up is Ravens at Bills. Oh boy, they've seen each other in the playoffs quite a bit.
Charlotte can go first.
On behalf of my friend CJ, Ravens.
I think I also gotta go Ravens. They've gotten better all around, and the Bills have.
Yeah, they're built better than the Bills are. The Bills lost like almost an entire defense,
and a lot of their offense too.
Yeah, I can see this going to Baltimore's way, unless there happens to be a lot of wind, because the Ravens can't fly against wind.
No way, we got this in the wild card round. No way.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, now we have a repeat from early on in the season. It's Bengals and Chiefs.
Burrowhead.
Let's get some Burrowhead action. Hey, this is a strange wildcard weekend as we have even 2 away teams winning. But that just shows how close the top of the AFC is.
Give me 3 away teams winning.
All right, next we have Cowboys at Atlanta.
I want Nate to go first.
Okay. You want me to be the one?
You're deciding off the rip, Nate. You're deciding it off the rip.
Yeah, you are deciding it. It's basically
all right, fine. We're gonna have 2 teams with quarterbacks who are not great in the playoffs, let's be honest. But you know what? Let's go with the home team. I'm going Atlanta.
God damn it!
Yay!
God damn it!
By the way, the moment we started this, I was looking at that game and I was like, "This is all Nate. This is this is all Nate."
It's entirely on you. God damn it!
I think this next one's also fairly easy.
Yeah, Niners.
Niners.
Okay. Oh wait, are we in agreement for Falcons then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
it's
also
you
in
and
agreement
me,
for
and then
Niners.
We were
It's-
both rooting for our own teams, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
And
really
how
exciting.
about a repeat for the Brazil game? Packers at Eagles.
Eagles, but it's close.
Nate, you pick, because I don't. I hate both of them.
Both of them.
Cowboys have a lot of enemies. What can I say?
Yeah, we do. I don't
Man,
know.
this is
I
a
also
tough
don't
one
know.
for
I don't
me.
know how to pick this because I didn't know how to pick the week 1 game either. It's like
I think this will be Philly as well. Honestly, I
Okay.
like Jordan Love. I think he's gonna do his best, but I just think the Eagles have a few more pieces that keep them ahead.
I like going back to week 1 and Shiloh being like, they both get lost in Brazil and never seen or heard from ever again.
All right, but that's 2 for Philly at least.
Honestly, I think it's easier from here. I don't think it's harder. I think it's easier.
Oh, the divisional round should be a little easier. Yeah. As on the AFC, we have Ravens visiting Cleveland. Man, Cleveland hosting 2 playoff games is weird. Oh yeah, Ravens hosting Cleveland. No, Cleveland hosting the Ravens. Texans hosting the Bengals. We have the Eagles hosting the Niners and the Lions hosting Atlanta. All right, so how do we feel about Ravens at Browns, everyone?
Ravens.
Ravens.
All right. I'd agree with that, even though I also know Cleveland fans are going to make that a sold-out stadium. And it's going to be hard for Lamar to hear anything called. But yeah,
True.
that should be Baltimore. Okay. 7th seed Bengals versus 1st seed Texans.
Go get
Man,
him,
this
kid.
will be a fun game.
Go get him, kid. Give me Texas.
So it's who versus who again? On this one, Texans
Bengals versus Texans, yeah.
Fuck.
At Houston.
I think because of Cincinnati's defense, I have to agree. Houston.
And I also think Houston. All right, so in the NFC, San Fran at Philly.
Niners.
Niners. They know how to beat Philly way too easily.
All right, and now we have 4th seed Atlanta versus 1st seed Detroit.
Lions.
Lions. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, Lions are going to beat either the Falcons or Cowboys, whoever showed up.
Yeah.
You never know.
We had them win in the regular season. Okay, but yeah, for the conference championships, we have 6th seed Ravens at 1 seed Texans, and we have 3rd seed Niners versus 1st seed Lions. How do you feel about the AFC?
Go get him, kid. Texas.
Oh, don't. No, no. Oh, no. Please tell me this isn't going to come down to 2 teams getting there before we get there. Oh, God. No, this is going to be my nightmare. Oh, fuck. But really, actually, generally thinking about it though, I think they bounced back from last year and they learned their lesson a bit. I think this goes Baltimore's way.
All right, so it's up to me. And I think in this scenario, I let the legend continue. Houston gets the win and goes to the Super Bowl.
I'm okay with that. It'll hurt me because it's another team fucking making their first one before we fucking make it back. But okay. God damn it.
All right.
Hey.
And on the NFC side, Shiloh, which team do you want to get to the Super Bowl? Which do you want the Niners to go again and continue to hurt your Cowboy fandom? And
I
just
mean,
how
I
you
get to
feel
watch
about
the
San
music
Francisco,
and
or do you
make
want
it.
the Lions to go in and hurt your Cowboy fandom and be mocked?
Well, it's either I get to watch the.
Can I just make mine real quick?
Yeah.
Damn, it's wild the Lions made it to the Super Bowl before the Cowboys got back there.
Why is it gotta be about us instead of?
It's the entire thing of you've been saying that since we started picking the teams to win.
I know, I know. That was I'm just joking about it for this one, for this though. But when it comes to it though, I genuinely won't actually say it when we get to that point in the year though. I'm just saying it for the bit at this point. Fuck. Because it comes down to it, either the Niners are going to make it, and they lose, but then I watch the Texans win for the first time, or it's the Lions and Texans, and someone's winning their first. To be fair, I had Lions Bengals for my prediction, so someone was winning their first regardless. I think I gotta go Lions. I think they're just a better built team than the Niners are. Not by much, but I don't know.
I also
just
like the Lions in this scenario too. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
just
like
know how Detroit is going to be if they're hosting the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I trust their team a little bit more.
All right, that means our Super Bowl will be the 2-1 seeds of Texans versus Lions.
How often does that actually happen?
Actually, it
Never.
happens a lot.
Does it really?
It's typically going to be the 1 or 2 seed versus the 1 or 2 seed.
Ah.
Yeah, that's just how it realistically goes, and it's even weighted more to the 1 seed since the extra game was added.
You know what? Since we're going to the Super Bowl of Texans versus Lions, Nate, I feel like you should go first.
Okay. All right, I'm continuing to let the legend grow and my Ohio State bias, as well as just my fandom of the Strouds in general, take the lead here. I want Texans to get this win.
I like that choice. I think Texas is a good football team, but I think it's a little bit of a redemption thing. I think Goff needs a fucking redemption after that worst Super Bowl I've ever seen, and I think Detroit finally returns to what the people of the 80s and 70s and 90s saw in this team. I think they should win the Super Bowl. I will say, I'm okay with also the Texans winning. This is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I'm okay with either of these teams.
This would be a really good Super Bowl. And I'm just like, yeah, football, woo.
This is my favorite possible outcomes for this year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this: Detroit is gonna Detroit. Texans win.
So we have the Strouds coming with the Lombardi at the end of the season.
Nobody in Detroit wins unless it's the Red Wings.
Who?
All right, and for stream and video, here is what the draft order would essentially be like in this scenario as well. As our top 5 picks in the draft are going to be in order: Patriots, Panthers, Vikings, Giants, and Commanders. Which, yeah, that honestly sounds about right.
It does.
But yeah. Here it is. Anything else anyone would like to talk about? Any other things you'd like to predict for this? I mean, we can go ahead and get depressing and be like, hey, who are the coaches that are going to get fired?
No, that's no need to go down that route.
Yeah, that's just I don't really want to go down that negative route too much either.
I mean, the upside is a lot of players getting paid.
Yeah.
IU got paid. Others. Someone I can think of because he got signed like an hour ago.
And CD got paid last week.
That's true. CD got paid last week. That's again, I don't know, because again, we're going into a season with a lot of players also still kind of sitting out a little bit. You got Chase sitting out a little bit. You got whatever's happened with Hassan Reddick up in New Jersey.
How bad it's
was
going to
it-
be if they end up having to trade him away, like Chicago picks him up.
Yeah, what is it, like Trent Williams also isn't signed, I believe.
Yeah. Although apparently it sounds like no one's really worried, and that might just be, especially knowing what about the IU holding out on the contract for 2 weeks thing, makes me more and more inclined to believe that Trent Williams was just doing the Joe Thomas thing. Just take the preseason off.
Yeah, realistically. I do think it's gonna be a good year though, all around. I think we're gonna have fun once again. And hey, we're doing our fantasy draft on Sunday.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for that. I will say, the coming off season looks like it's going to be a terrible one for a team that's going to be in need of a quarterback, because there's no one in free agency outside of maybe Dak that's really starter worthy, which is typical. But the draft is pretty. A lot of people are pretty low on the draft this year as well.
Yeah, we have like one more year until we actually get like high caliber quarterbacks again, realistically. Unless Carson Beck's able to turn himself into something, but
Carson Beck is eligible for the next draft.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
And he's the number 1 prospect right now for
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
As someone who gets to watch him this year, we'll see.
Yeah.
Shiloh, any thoughts? Any closing arguments?
Football, yay!
Hey, we're just a week away as of this recording. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching this, as well as I think a Mario Party game that I'm gonna have to commentate on live. But yeah, thank you all for
And
stopping
Mario
by.
Party tomorrow.
Yeah, God, I have so much Mario Party within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, thank both of you for stopping by and going through all these predictions and previews with me. And Holly, if you're watching, I'll also make sure to say this in the chat as well. Thank you for participating as well. This has been a lot of fun.
All the smooches to you and Alex, Holly. Mwah.
Yeah, let's see how accurate we all are. We can go ahead and see about doing a after like 2024 season like recap like we did last time, earlier in this year.
And hey, we might have some special guests along the way next time. We'll see. Someone has to go get their masters. Ooh.
Yeah. Gotta
I
get
bet
smarter.
I bet it's in baiting, Marf. I'll die on that joke. I don't care. It's stupid.
Just like me.
Yeah, thank
That's
you all
true.
so much. And
Hey!
let's look forward to this season that is definitely going to end with the Houston Strouds getting their victory and Grossi not having to lose his house against their fandom like he did last season, where they blew up the moon.
And his car.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What is
a shame.
happening?
Do you not watch his content?
No.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. It's great.
Yeah, thank you all again. See y'all after the season's done. Don't bet money on any of this. I can't endorse betting on Twitch at all. But also, there's no way we're going to be 100% accurate.
Yeah, if you're gonna bet responsibly. If you're gonna bet through Sleeper, take it
We're
away.
not advertised by Sleeper.
We're not sponsored.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful season, and may your team come out on top. Bye now.
My friends, bye.